The 1999 Cartersville Hurricanes are coming off a perfect regular season back in '98. They enter this fall with a strong nucleus intact and a goal to return to the state playoffs. On the other end of the field tonight will be Woodland. The Wildcats completed their first ever varsity campaign a year ago, and they'll look to improve this year as they play for the first time with a senior class. Once again, the Wildcats will assume an underdog role tonight as Cartersville enters this game as the number 6 team in the state. This contest is sure to entertain as the Wildcats will rely on their explosive big play offense, while the Hurricanes will run behind their devastating D. As kickoff approaches, the gloves will come off as the lights come on at Weinman Stadium.
Between the Woodland Wildcats and the Purple Hurricanes.
And welcome! You're watching Prestige Vision 4 and listening to WBHF AM 1450 here in Cartersville. I'm Scott Singer along with David Archer Jr. and Matt Santini up here in the booth as tonight opens up the 1999 football season from Weinman Stadium, and it's the Cartersville Purple Hurricanes against the Woodland Wildcats. Of course, Cartersville coming off an 11-1 season back in '98, and for Woodland, 3-7 in their first ever varsity campaign. They'll try to improve on that mark this year. And of course, for the Hurricanes, tonight is the first rung on a ladder back to the state playoffs. David, a great matchup tonight. Woodland comes in with a high-powered offense for Cartersville, a knock-em, drag-em-out defense.
Exactly, and as we were saying earlier on the radio part of the broadcast, Woodland is hungry. We've all heard a lot of talk throughout the community over the last couple of weeks that they're fired up. They really think they're going to come in here and give Cartersville a game tonight. And you know, who's to say they're not? They finished out the season last year on a strong note by upsetting some teams late in the season. And they've got pretty much everybody back offensively and defensively, except with the exception of a couple of changes in the defensive secondary. And they're all bigger and stronger. The coach has more confidence in them. They've got a good quarterback. They got a great tailback, some really good wide receivers. The key is the offensive line. And on the flip side of that, Cartersville, a traditional powerhouse. They obviously are coming in with confidence after their good showing at the Jamboree last week against Dalton and Murray County. And it's going to be a great, great football game.
David, you hit the nail right on the head. This team's had another year of getting in the weight room, getting bigger, getting the system under their belt, believing in themselves with that big win at the end of last season. This team doesn't believe that it would be an upset if they were to come out and win tonight. This team really believes that they've got a shot against Cartersville. We're just going to have to find out.
And I think it'll be an interesting game tonight. I think it'll be interesting to see if Cartersville's defense can stop a high-powered offense. The offense was their success last year as they went up and upset Northwest Woodfield, and I think they want to have that same momentum as they carry it into this season. We're going to break it now, and we're going to turn it over to the Cartersville Band as they play Amazing Grace and then the national anthem. And there you have it, the Cartersville Marching Band as they play our national anthem. Well, let's take a quick look at the starting lineups in tonight's game. And we started all off with the Hurricane offensive line as Josh Brock, Tommy Higginbotham, Matt Montgomery, Luke Bunce, and Derek Cowan will be up front for the Canes. Now moving into the Canes wide receiver core, we take a look at tight end Maverick Bagley and wide receivers Lavada Johnson and Teddy Slocum, who will provide the spark offensively. And finally, in the Hurricane backfield, it's Ronnie Brown at tailback, Wes Gilmer at fullback, and of course, the signal caller, the senior Chris Deach, who will get his first start as a Hurricane at quarterback. For the Woodland Wildcats defensively, we'll have Casey Lujan at one defensive end. Robert Applin will be at tackle. Gabe Gibbs will be in the middle at nose guard. Justin Bruton will be at right tackle. And Justin Huffman will be at the other defensive end. Taking a look at the Wildcats linebacker core, it's Scott Spivey and Kenny Williams. And finally for the Cats, we take a quick look at their defensive secondary, led by John Taylor at cornerback and Eldred Pryor at the other corner. The strong safety is senior J.J. Jones, and playing center field, the free safety, Alan Eubanks. And you see the Hurricanes coming through the tunnel, greeted by their fans as their faithful are on their feet. This is the first time that Woodland has ever played at Weinman Stadium. For the Hurricanes, they're wearing their traditional purple jerseys, purple pants, and gold helmets. They really reserve that uniform for special occasions, homecoming, the first game of the year, and of course senior night, and we're seeing it tonight. So obviously they're putting a big emphasis on game number 1 here in 1998. They'd like to win this one, get a win under their belt early, as the captains are meeting up at midfield. The captains for tonight's game for Cartersville, Albert Turner, Lavada Johnson, Ronnie Brown, and Courtney Chapman. For the visiting Wildcats, Quinto Aquazama will be one captain, along with Scott Spivey, Kenny Williams, and Brent Abernathy are the 4 captains for the Woodland Wildcats. And we're just about ready to turn it over to the coin toss as we'll go down onto the field as the Wildcats break through their traditional banner, and we'll see what we've got down here on the sidelines. I don't think the audio is working down there on the field, but they're about to, there we go.
It's sponsored by Ronnie Brown. Thank you.
It is tailed. That means you have won the toss. You have 4 choices. You can receive, you can kick, defend the goal, or defer. You want to defer.
Cartersville has deferred on the coin toss. They won, so now it will be Woodland's decision here in the first half. And of course, the Wildcats will receive. If they don't, they choose to kick, then Cartersville will get the ball twice. So Woodland will receive the opening kick, and we'll put Cartersville's defense on the field first against the Woodland offense. And now let's take a quick look at those lineups as we take a look at the Woodland offense. And their offensive line is made up of Eric Wheeler, Mitch Marlier, Brent Abernathy, Justin Bruton, and Robert Applin, who will go both ways in tonight's game. Taking a look now at the Woodland backfield, or the receiver core rather, it's Brandon Grunseth, the tight end, wide receivers Robert Eccles and Quinto Aquazama, who will be some of the main weapons for the Wildcat attack. And finally, on offense, we take a look at their backfield as Jeremy Green will be at tailback, Kenny Williams, also playing both ways, will be at fullback, and of course Doug Brown will be calling the signals under center. Taking a look now at the Cartersville defensive lineup and how they match up against the Cats. At end, it'll be Charles Fluellen. The defensive tackle will be Albert Cerner. Colby Brinson will be in the middle, and Jody Fletcher will take care at the other 6 technique or end position. Taking a look now at the Cartersville linebackers. They are led by senior Courtney Chapman at the will linebacker. In the middle, it's Jamarcus Watley, and the other linebacker, the Sam, will be J.J. Chapman wearing number 44. The defensive secondary for the Canes will be Lavada Johnson, Ronnie Brown, Lee Miles, and Wes Ross. And we're ready to play football now as we go back down to the field as we're just about ready to kick things off here at Weinman Stadium. in what is the first game of 1999. And set to kick it off for the Hurricanes will be their new kicker, David Thompson, who replaces Kyle Tucker, who has brought his talents to Clemson University this fall. And back deep to receive for the Wildcats will be Jeremy Green.
And it's also Robert Eccles, number 2.
And Robert Eccles back deep to receive.
The upbacks, Scott, on the kickoff receiving team for Woodland is Quinto Equazima and also number 27, Alan Eubanks.
So Woodland putting their speed on the return as Eccles and Green back deep. And Thompson has quite a leg as he gets it into this one. The ball goes all the way back to the 5-yard line where it's picked up by Eccles. He bobbles it. Now he gets outside. He's across the 20, still on his feet, and brought down at the 22-yard line where the Wildcats will operate 1st and 10.
It's about a 14-yard kickoff return for Robert Eccles.
All right, here we go. 1st and 10 for Woodland. Ball's on about the 22.
So the ball sitting on the 22-yard line, and the Woodland Wildcats will go to work as quarterback Doug Brown comes in to take his first snap here in 1999. And we are underway with 11:54 to play here in the opening quarter. Cats up at the line of scrimmage, ball on the 22-yard line. Brown goes under center, twins to the left side of the formation, working out of an I backfield. Tight end goes to the right. Brown goes under center, and the Hurricanes load up the line of scrimmage in their 4-3. Brown drops back to pass, has time, fires across the middle of the field, has a receiver in Eccles, and he just drops it at the 40-yard line, in and out of his hands. He was wide open in the Hurricane secondary. It'll bring up 2nd and 10. The ball will remain on the 22-yard line with 11:48 here to play in the first quarter as the clock stops on the incomplete pass.
Scott, they came out throwing just like we expected, and Robert Eccles was wide open. He had 5 yards on anybody that was even close to him. I think he tried to catch it, tried to run before he caught the ball, though.
The Wildcat offensive line doing a nice job of giving their quarterback time. I formation again, pro I here with a wide receiver to each side. Equazima to the near side, Eccles to the far side. Brown goes under center, pitches it out to Green outside. He runs around the corner, and he's brought down right at the line of scrimmage. Might have gotten a yard on the play. It'll bring up 3rd and 9 for the Wildcat offense with 11:42 to go.
It looked like Charles Fluellen in on the tackle, as well as I think he got some help from number 20, Ronnie Brown.
So the Wildcats shuttle in a play as they take their time here. 3rd and 9 for the Wildcat offense as they now get the spot set.
I know it's not often that you have a very important down early in this in a ball game, but this 3rd down it can go a long way early in the ball game for both of these teams as far as confidence.
3rd and 9, twins to the right side of the formation. One receiver on the line, one in the slot. Brown goes under center, drops back to pass, has time, fires for the flat, lays it up, ball's out there, and it's incomplete, intended for Quinto Equazima out at the 36-yard line. Lee Miles came in to break up the pass, and now the Hurricanes will get the ball as they take over with 11:37 to play here in the first quarter. And one thing we're noticing now is this game could be a long one with incomplete passes and going out of bounds. Only 23 seconds off the clock in the first possession of the game.
Right, especially if Woodland is going to come out throwing that many times on each series that they have.
Well, what was surprising is I thought that they were going to come out in their 4-wide set and try to take them by surprise by running the ball, or by throwing the ball, excuse me. They came out in a run set and threw the ball.
And the punt is deep. It'll land at the 35-yard line with no return for the Hurricanes. And the Purple will take over at their own 35-yard line with 11:26 to play here in the opening quarter. We have no score here from Weinman Stadium as the Hurricane offense will come on the field for the first time here in 1999. Chris Deach with the call, comes up to the line. And in the huddle, the Canes will come out, working out of the I formation. The Canes offset as Wes Gilmer will be to the left side of the formation, to the strength that is, as Maverick Bagley lines up on the left side. to the long side of the field, and they give it to Ronnie Brown, the first carry from scrimmage. He crosses the 35, the 40, still on his feet at midfield, at the 40, the 30, and brought down at the 27-yard line of Woodland. A huge carry for Ronnie Brown, the first time he touches the ball this year.
Excellent run that time. He got around, it was around 30 yards, about 28 yards on the carry. Had some excellent blocks out there on the outside.
A great play by Ronnie Brown, and we'll take a look at the replay on the monitor as Deach gives it to him outside, and watch the blocking he gets here, and they just mow over that defensive line, and Brown is off to the races. Alan Eubanks catches him from behind, and you see the speed of the young freshman there. Hurricanes lining up again offensively, offset to the right side again. Deach goes under center, twins to the right side of the formation. Deach drops back to pass, has time, rolls out, under pressure now, and throws the ball away. It's an incomplete pass. Good pressure there by Woodland defensive end Casey Lujan, who almost came up to make the snack. Great effort there by Chris Deach to get rid of the ball on the fly.
Exactly.
10:55 now to play here in the opening quarter. Still no score at Weinman Stadium as the Hurricanes go to 2nd and 10. Ball rests on the 28-yard line of Woodland.
Excellent speed that time by the Woodland defense, and I tell you, Chris Deach flirted with an intentional grounding.
So the Hurricanes back under center. And Deach gives it off up the middle, and it'll get a yard or two on the carry. The ball went to Ronnie Brown. That's his second carry.
And in the tackle was number 56, Scott Spivey.
We've got a flag on the play. We'll see what the call is.
The other player in on that tackle, Scott, was Robert Applin Jr., number 67.
It's going to be holding against the Hurricanes, so that'll back them up 10 yards. And what can you say about Ronnie Brown? He comes out for his first run from scrimmage, comes out with 37 yards on the first time he touches the ball this year.
Had an excellent block from Wesley Gilmer, the fullback, out there on the left side.
With the penalty, the ball will be spotted back at the 37-yard line as the Hurricanes will operate 2nd and 20, the call, as they come up to the line of scrimmage. Now the Canes, a little confusion there at the line of scrimmage as they come back to get the play.
I think the confusion, Scott, is where they're spotting the ball. The referees are spending a lot of time over the ball, really slowing down the pace of the game.
2nd down 20 for the Canes.
2nd down and 20 as Chris Deach goes under center. Working out of that offset eye again, and Deach drops back, has time, now throws to the middle, has Wes Gilmer at the 30-yard line. He breaks the tackle and will be brought down at the 26. A 10-yard gain for the Hurricane offense, and that'll bring up 3rd and 10.
Alan Eubanks on the initial hit after the pass was caught. Deach had a lot of pressure coming at him from Casey Lujan.
Kenny Williams checks out of the game now for the Wildcats as Jeremy Green has come in. So Green playing a little linebacker now along with Scott Spivey. Canes again working out of the I formation. Lavada Johnson to the near side. They send Slocum in motion. Deach under center, drops back to pass, has time, now delivers the pass over the middle, has a receiver in Maverick Bagley at the 5, and it's just in and out of his hands. And Deach put that ball on the money.
I think there was some confusion back there because Lavada Johnson was coming across the middle at the same time, and I think he might have thought it was for him, and I think he may have actually tipped the ball before it had a chance to get to the other receiver back there.
Well, regardless, it's 4th and 10 now for the Hurricane offense with 9:51 to go here in the opening quarter. Still no score. Ball spotted at the 27-yard line of Woodland as the Canes come up to the line of scrimmage, and they'll go for it here. This is out of field goal range as Deach goes under center, working out of the wing T for the first time, and the Canes drop back to pass. Deach has time, throws it deep, has a receiver in Teddy Slocum. That's good enough for a first down as he's brought down at the 16-yard line of Woodland.
Jeremy Green down in there to help on that tackle, and also number 27, who is Alan Eubanks, and he looks like he's shaken up over there on the sideline.
The trainers have come out to take care of Alan Eubanks, and that would be a costly injury for the Wildcats. The freshman only in his first ever varsity game. And we're not even 3 minutes into this one with 9:44 left here in the opening quarter. And we're going to take a 30-second break and come back right after this as they tend to the injury.
Who are you going to call next time the Glass Busters pay a visit to your car, home, or office?
Matheson Glass is the right choice.
Next time you need a new window, windshield, mirror, or custom-cut piece of glass, remember to call the professionals of your choice, Matheson Glass. Matheson Glass is approved by all major insurance carriers and has a proven record of safety and reliability. So who are you going to call next time the Glass Busters pay you a visit?
Matheson Glass is the right choice.
Going to work early here. 9:18 left in the first quarter. As you're just coming back from the TV break, the Hurricanes got the ball to Ronnie Brown. He gained a couple yards on the play, about 6 to be exact. It'll bring up 2nd and 4 as the ball is spotted up at the 7-yard line. And the clock continues to run as we go under 9 minutes to play here in the first quarter as the Canes come up to the line of scrimmage. 2 wide receivers in the formation now. Lavada to the right, Teddy Slocum to the left, and they give it to Ronnie Brown around the left end. He's got a lane to the end zone, and he's in for the touchdown. And the Hurricanes are on the board first here at Woodland Stadium. It's 6-0 as Brown goes in from 4 yards out, and the Canes have showed that they are ready to play football here in 1999 as Brown was a big part of this drive, and he carries it in untouched.
Another excellent block out there, Scott. This time it was by Teddy Slocum, who put the guy down right at about the 2 or 3 yard line and allowed Ronnie Brown to get on to the outside of the field.
Well, David Thompson will now come in to attempt the extra point. And the snap is up. And the kick is good. And the Hurricanes are on the board. It's 7-0. We'll take 30 seconds and come back right after this.
Michelin, because so much is riding on your tires.
And welcome back to Woodland Stadium. The Hurricanes put it in the end zone first here on the first day of play. And the Canes will now kick it off as David Thompson comes into the game with 8:45 to play here in the opening quarter. 7-0 our score. Hurricanes on top of this one. Thompson with the long kick, and that ball goes deep down to the end zone, and it is returnable as Robert Eccles will come out, crosses the 15, still on his feet at the 15, now reverses his field, and he's brought down for a loss back at the 14-yard line as the Hurricane coverage is very strong on that one. He had nowhere to go once he got to the 15-yard line, and the Wildcats will operate now 86 yards away from where they want to be.
It was finally wrapped up, Scott, by Andrew Kelly, number 15 for Cartersville.
Ball's on the 15. It'll be 1st and 10 for Woodland.
So Woodland will come up to the line of scrimmage, working out of the I formation, wide receiver to each side. Robert Eccles to the near side, or to the far side rather. Aquazima to the near side. Brown goes under center, drops back, gives it up the middle to Green. Green brought down right at the line of scrimmage. Might have gained a yard on the play. It'll bring up 2nd and long now for the Wildcats with 8:24 to go here in the opening quarter. 7-0 our score. Hurricanes on top of this one.
He was initially hit at the line of scrimmage by J.J. Chapman and then was brought on down to the ground by Jamarcus Wiley.
That'll be a 3-yard gain for the tailback.
2nd down, 7.
Wildcats now working with 3 wide receivers, 1 back in the backfield. That's Jeremy Green. Brown goes under center with a tight end to the left side, and he gives it to Green right at the line of scrimmage, and Green is hit hard and brought down for a loss of 2 on the play.
Again, J.J. Chapman there.
Number 4,
That will bring up 3rd and 9 now for the Wildcat offense. 7:41 to play here in the opening quarter as the clock continues to run. Ball spotted at the 16-yard line. It'll be 3rd and 9. Wildcats making some substitutions as Kenny Williams checks back into the game. Doug Brown gets the call from the sidelines, and the Cats will work out of an I formation. Quinto to the left side of the formation, Robert Eccles to the right. Brown goes under center, taking his time, now drops back to pass, has time, looks across the middle of the field, has a receiver, throws it deep, and Eccles is behind the coverage, but Lee Miles breaks it up as he comes back to play center field, and Miles almost had his first pick here in 99, right at midfield as he came back to make the play, and we see what kind of athlete he is back there at center field for the Hurricanes.
Scott, that's a pretty strong play by Robert Eccles to come back and play a little bit of defender right there.
Exactly.
Definitely a chance for an interception. He kind of broke it up.
Exactly. Lee Miles would have had some room to return the ball as well.
So with 7:06 to play here in the opening quarter, 7-0 our score, the Hurricanes will get another crack at it offensively as the Wildcats will kick deep in their own territory. Back deep is Quinto Aquazama. He takes it at his own 5 and he punts it, and it's just sort of a pooch punt down to the 40-yard line. It's picked up by Teddy Slocum and he knocks it out of bounds at the 43, and the Hurricanes will take over in excellent field position, and now we've got a penalty flag on the play. Thrown by the field umpire, and we'll see what he says. The penalty is going to go against the Hurricanes, I believe. I think it was on the return, so that may back them up a few.
They're calling it a clip, but with the ball not even really being returned except just knocked out of bounds, it'd be kind of hard to figure out how that was actually a clip.
If it's a clip, that'll push them back a long way.
I think it comes from the spot of the foul, which would mean that it would be, if the clip actually does come from the spot of the foul, then it just depends where it was. But the flag is thrown back here at the 47-yard line.
Right, and obviously if it was a clip, it had to be somewhere across midfield.
Wildcats are going to go ahead and take the penalty and back the Canes up a little bit. And now the Wildcat offense is coming back on the field. So that was a costly penalty as it will negate the punt and the change of possession.
Scott, the only thing I could think of is possibly there was a clip before the ball was punted, or possibly they just gave a wrong signal, maybe had illegal participation on the Canes. I can't figure out exactly what happened there.
Either way, it had to have happened before Teddy Slocum touched the ball, which would have changed possessions on the play.
So we're still very confused as to what's going on. Now Coach Barden would like to have a word with the head referee as he now comes to the sidelines. He's going to explain it to the Hurricanes.
So instead of Cartersville getting the ball in good position again, good field position again, on the flip side, Woodland gets the ball in the best field position they've had so far, out beyond the 30-yard line.
At the 32, it'll be 1st and 10 for the Wildcat offense, working out of the I, twins to the right side of the formation, and boy, do we have a change here. 7 minutes to go here in the opening quarter. Cartersville leading it 7-0. And to keep you updated now, the Cats have the ball on their own 32-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 after the penalty on the punt. Wildcats under center. Doug Brown takes his time, now gives it to Green in the backfield, and he is drilled right behind the line of scrimmage. Actually breaks away, though, and gets a yard or two on the play. It'll bring up 2nd and long now for the Wildcats.
And Scott, again, the initial hit was by J.J. Chapman, and then Jamarcus Whiteley and a couple of others were in on the final bring down. But J.J. Chapman has just really shown up to play here tonight. He's been in on every play so far, at least the running plays.
So the Wildcats coming up to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 9 the call. Ball sitting on the 33-yard line. 6:24 to go here in the opening quarter. Cats working out of the I. It's a pro I set now with a wide receiver to each side. And they give it off to Jeremy Green around the right end. He's got room to run as he gets outside, crosses the 40, and he'll be brought down right at the 40-yard line. Very close to a Wildcat 1st down. A gain of almost 8 on the play. And that will bring up third and about 1.
And in on the tackle that time was Courtney Chapman and Charles Fluell, and I believe Jamarcus Watley was also there to help out. Good blocking over there on the right side by Woodland that time to allow Jeremy to turn it upfield.
Wildcats will continue to work out of the eye. 2 wide receivers set, 1 to each side. Eccles to the near side, Aquazima to the far side. They're going to bring the tight end to the left side of the formation, to the wide side of the field. Brown gives it up the middle to Kenny Williams, and he's hit right in the backfield and taken down. Excellent effort there by the Cartersville defense. Charles Fluell in the defensive end came in to throw him to the turf. And that will not be a first down. It'll be 4th and short now. It almost backs him up a yard. It'll be 4th and 2 now for the Wildcat offense. 5:07 to play here in the opening quarter. I believe the Cats are going to go for this one. Still trying to get their first down of the game. And Brent Abernathy comes up to the line of scrimmage as the Wildcat offense comes up to the 40-yard line. Again, they'll work out of the eye. Eccles to the near side, Aquazima to the far side of the field. Brown goes under center. And a long snap count draws a flag. And we'll see who that one goes against. And it's going to go against the Wildcats. That'll back them up 5. That was a costly mental error right there by the Wildcat offense, and you can't have that in a game of this caliber, David.
Right, and I think the idea completely backfired on the Wildcats. I think they did the long count to try to get Cartersville offsides, but someone was not up to the task, and they jumped off themselves. That's going to force them to punt.
So it backs them up 5, and now they'll punt it away. So Lee Miles and Teddy Slocum back deep to receive at the 35-yard line as Aquazima comes on to make the punt. Cartersville backing off for a return. Aquazima picks it up, kicks it, a left-footed kick, and that ball will float deep as Lee Miles has to come back as he picks it up at his own 5-yard line, and he'll be brought down right there. Great coverage by the Wildcats and a good punt by Aquazima as he got it over the head of the deep man, and now the Canes will have to go 95 yards with 4:21 to go here in the opening quarter. They lead it 7-0 on the Bartow County Bank scoreboard report.
And in on that coverage was Robert Eccles and number 30. I hope I'm saying his name right. Is it Casey Lujan? Lujan, okay.
So the Hurricanes will now operate offensively, 95 yards away from where they'd like to be. Only their second possession of the game with 4:21 to go here in the opening quarter as Chris Deach gets the call from the sidelines. Wes Gilmer checks out of the game as the Canes come up to the line of scrimmage offensively. They'll run with J.J. Chapman in the backfield. They'll go the wing to the left side of the formation as Deach goes under center and gives it to Ronnie Brown up the middle. He's still on his feet as he crosses the 20. He's outside at the 30, the 40. He crosses midfield. Ronnie Brown at the 30, cuts back across the grain to the 20, the 10, and Ronnie Brown goes 95 yards for the score. With 4:06 to play here in the first quarter, Ronnie Brown is putting on a clinic. 95 yards on the run. And the Hurricane faithful are on their feet.
Scott, I am amazed. The speed he showed once he got to the outside. He had Quinto Aquazima coming up from behind him, and he kicked the second afterburner in, changed his direction one time, and he was in the end zone. What a run.
And what a play by Ronnie Brown. The first time he touches the ball tonight, 37 yards. He's well over 100 yards. He's only carried it 4 times tonight.
4 carries, 146 yards.
4 carries, 146 yards, and the extra point is no good, but we've got whistles on the play. That may give us another opportunity here to see what's going to go on. That may give the Hurricanes another chance, and it does. Penalty against the Wildcats, so the Canes will get another opportunity to kick the extra point here with 4:06 to go here in the first quarter. 13-0 our score, all courtesy of Ronnie Brown, as the senior is having a big day on the first day of the season. And David Thompson will come in to attempt the extra point with 4:06 to play here in the opening quarter. Chris Deach turning to the sidelines. maybe some confusion down there, so I don't believe the ball has been set yet. So Deach kneels down right at the 9-yard line where Thompson will have to kick it in from. Thompson getting his first start as kicker this year in replace of, he replaces Kyle Tucker, a departed senior from last year. And the snap is up, and the kick, and it's good. So David Thompson, 2 for 2 tonight with the penalty, and the Canes lead it 14-0 with 4:06 to play here in the opening quarter. We'll take a quick 30-second break and come back right after this.
What do you look for in a bank? People you know and people you trust. At Crescent Bank, we give you both. Whether it's for your personal checking and savings accounts or for your commercial banking needs, Crescent Bank is ready to earn your business. Crescent Bank is a full-service bank. We offer home equity and real estate loans, commercial loans, MasterCard and Visa, and drive-through and ATM banking. All backed with personal hometown service. Crescent Bank, 2 North Dixie Avenue, Cartersville. People you know, people you trust. Crescent Bank, member FDIC.
And welcome back. You're watching Prestige Vision 4 and listening to WBHF AM 1450 in Cartersville. I'm Scott Singer along with David Archer Jr. and Matt Santini up here in the booth as we're live at Weinman Stadium. And with 4:06 to play here in the opening quarter, Ronnie Brown has taken charge as he just went 95 yards for the touchdown, and the Canes lead it 14-0. Kicking off for Cartersville, David Thompson drills it deep, and that ball will go into the end zone for a touchback. And David Thompson doing a great job coming in to kick. And kicking off and punting is one of his specialties this year, David.
He's definitely got a strong foot on him. It was kind of odd that the Woodland guys back there were up so far. He's put the ball on the 1- and 2-yard line each time he's kicked tonight, and they came up to about the 6-yard line. Subsequently, the ball went over Jeremy Green's hands.
So the Wildcats will come up to the line of scrimmage rather. A wide receiver to each side, I formation. The Hurricanes get their defensive alignment set. Brown goes under center, now bobbles the snap, comes back, throws, has time, got a receiver at the 30, still on his feet at the 32, and he'll be brought down close to the 35-yard line, a gain of 13 on the play for Woodland's offense.
And on the tackle for Cartersville were Levada Johnson, number 6, and number 55, Albert Turner. I tell you what, he did a good job of getting that ball off because Charles Fluellen had his hands all over him as he cocked his arm back to make the throw.
I believe that was Brian Hill on the carry. I think that's who that was. It was on the far side of the field. Hard to see the numbers from up here.
If Woodland wants to keep things close, they have got to answer here. They've got to answer early on here in the first half so that they can keep things close.
Ball at the 35-yard line, 1st and 10 for the Woodland offense. 2 wide receivers to the left side of the formation, and they give it to Green right up the middle. He breaks a tackle, crosses the 40, still on his feet, and now brought down back at the 37-yard line. He will get forward progress close to the 40. I believe they're going to spot it up near the 39-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 6 now.
And in on the tackle were number 4, Chapman, and number 36, Charles Fluellen. And Lee Miles gave a little bit of help there at the end.
So the ball will be spotted just shy of the 40-yard line as the Wildcats come up to the line of scrimmage. I formation, wide receiver to each side. Eccles to the near side, Aquazimo to the far side. And Brown gives it on the pitch. Now a reverse to Eccles. He's got room to run as the Hurricane defense will come up to meet him. Courtney Chapman jars the ball loose. It's on the ground. It's a fumble. The Canes have it. Hurricanes will take over 1st and 10 at the 44. And Robert Eccles came around the end and really just kind of danced for a little bit and let Courtney Chapman come after him. And Chapman comes up with a big hit and jars the ball loose, and the Hurricanes get the turnover. It'll be 1st and 10 the other way. Excellent field position again for the Big Purple. 2:49 to play here in the opening quarter, 14-0. Cartersville on top of this one.
I tell you what, Scott, Cartersville showed its defensive speed that time because it looked like Eccles had the entire sideline for a second, and it just closed in on him. He had to try to make the cut back up the field. I think it was Jamarcus Whiteley that finally fell on the loose ball.
Once again, Jamarcus Watley coming up big for the Hurricanes. And Chris Dietz drops back to pass, has time, lots of time. Now he throws it deep, has a receiver. Wide open is Teddy Slocum, and he's in the end zone for the touchdown. The first throwing touchdown this season for the Canes as Chris Dietz hooks up with Teddy Slocum, 45 yards. And the Canes are in the end zone again. It's 20-0 with 2:39 to play here in the opening quarter. And the Canes, we thought it would be a defensive battle, but their offense is showing how strong they are this year, David.
Absolutely. It's beginning to snowball, and Chris Dietz has gotten comfortable back there. I'm telling you, Scott, he's got a strong arm. He threw that ball with zip almost 40 yards.
And Chris Dietz put that ball on the money, and he is showing why he is a starter here for this Hurricane football team. The kick, it's up and good, and the Canes lead it 21-0 on the Bartow County Bank scoreboard. We'll take a quick break and come back right after this.
Now for our next story, disasters. They can strike anyone, any place, at any time. Hail, fire, flood, tornadoes, even auto accidents, all can have devastating consequences. If disaster strikes, are you covered? If not, you better call the professionals at Palmer to Langford Watkins Insurance, the leaders in fast, dependable professional service for over 50 years. Dan Johnson of the Johnson Agency handles all their health, disability, and life insurance products, so you're covered regardless of your insurance needs. Palmer Langford Watkins Insurance. Don't wait until disaster strikes to get to know them.
And welcome back. You're watching Prestige Vision 4 and listening to WBHF AM 1450 in Cartersville as the Hurricanes are in full command of this one here in the first quarter. 21-0 our score as David Thompson will kick it off from the 40-yard line. And the kick is deep as that ball floats into the end zone again. And David Thompson really putting on a display here on the kickoffs. That's his fourth one, and the second one he's put into the end zone for a touchback. So the Wildcat offense will take over from their own 20-yard line with 2:39 to play here in the opening quarter. 21-0 our score. Cartersville in full command of this one early on.
And again, Scott, if Woodland wants to get anything out of this first half and take something positive into the halftime, I know it's still the first quarter, but they have got to surmount some kind of a drive right here.
We do have another score from around the county as Cass leads Cherokee in the first quarter 8-0. Darlington leads Rockmart 14-0. And Manchester and Baldwin are tied at 7 apiece. Other scores from around the area, Cedartown leads Rome 14-0. Southeast Whitfield and Ringgold are tied at 7 apiece, and Gainesville leads North Forsyth 6-0. Well, they've taken a timeout down on the field, and we will take a quick break with them, and we'll be right back after these words from our sponsors.
Tired of playing the waiting game when it comes to getting your prescriptions filled? That's not a worry at Holtz Pharmacy. At Holtz Pharmacy, we're still a hometown business offering personalized, quick service for all your pharmaceutical needs. And now Holtz Pharmacy welcomes Warnie Bennett to our staff. Warnie is here to help new and old customers with all their prescription needs, including transfers. For your next prescription, come in and see the folks you know and trust at Holtz Pharmacy. Located at 406 Grassdale Road, call 770-382-5757.
And welcome back to Weinman Stadium with 2:39 to play here in the opening quarter. 21-0 our score as the Wildcats work with two wide receivers to the left side of the formation, and they give it to Jeremy Green out of the eye, and he crosses the 30, or 25 rather, close to the 30-yard line. A nice pickup there on the first play from scrimmage.
He made a great move to get some yardage, but then Lee Miles just lowered the boom on him.
So it'll bring up 2nd and 1, a 9-yard gain for the tailback. 2:14 here to play as the clock continues to run here in the first quarter. 21-0 our score. Hurricanes in full command of this one. Woodland up at the line of scrimmage. They'll bring two wide receivers to the left side of the formation. John Taylor in at wide receiver along with Robert Eccles, or Quinto Aquazima rather, and they give it to Jeremy Green around the right end, still on his feet, got the first down, crosses the 35, out close to the 36-yard line. That'll be good enough for a Woodland first down.
And again over there, it was J.J. Chapman and Lee Miles to run him out of bounds. Jeremy Green has run the ball fairly well when he's gotten some blocking over there. He's had some good 5- and 6-yard runs tonight, and I think Woodland needs to kind of concentrate on that and control the ball.
6 yards on the carry for Jeremy Green as the ball spotted up at the 30, just shy of the 36-yard line. Across the 35 though. And once again, they'll work out of that pro eye. They'll bring the tight end to the left side of the formation as he backs off and goes in motion. Now he'll go to the right side. I formation, they give it to Green again. He's hit right at the line of scrimmage. Might have gotten a yard on the play. And that'll bring up 2nd and long now for the Wildcat offense with 1:41 to play here in the opening quarter. 21-0 our score. Hurricanes still on top of this one.
Charles Fluellen and Jamarcus Watley in on that tackle for the Canes.
So the ball out at the 37-yard line. It'll bring up 2nd and 9, maybe 2nd and 8.5. As Doug Brown gets the call from the sidelines, and the Wildcats will come up to the line of scrimmage. Ball spotted at the 37-yard line. Working out of the eye again, a wide receiver to each side. John Taylor in on the near side, and Brown rolls out, has time now under pressure, and he's going to throw it away under heavy pressure as the Hurricanes came in.
That was Charles Fluellen, and I tell you, he almost threw the ball right into Lavada Johnson's hands.
And the Hurricane defense starting to heat up on that Woodland offense. That'll bring up 3rd and long now for the Cats. 21-0 our score with 1:01 to play here in the first quarter. As the Wildcats come up to the line of scrimmage, ball sits on the 37-yard line. They'll work out of the eye again. 2 wide receivers to the left side of the formation. That's Eccles and Aquazima. Eccles inside, Aquazima outside. Brown under center, out of the eye, rolls back, has time, now under pressure, throws across the middle of the field, has a receiver, but it's in and out of the hands of Robert Eccles. He heard footsteps behind him and couldn't quite hang on to it at the 45. So with 56.2 seconds to play here in the opening quarter, the clock is stopped with the Canes up 21-0, and it's 4th and 9 now for the Wildcats, and I believe we'll see the punt team as Aquazima will come back to punt this one away.
Scott, Robert Eccles is having a tough go of it tonight. He's dropped 2 passes and fumbled the reverse, so he's struggling a little bit here tonight.
Well, the Canes don't bring in their return team. I guess they were expecting possible fake there as Aquazima kicks it deep. And they're going to go ahead and fair catch this one as number 6, Lavada Johnson picks it up at the 30-yard line, and the Hurricanes will operate from there, 70 yards away from where they'd like to be, with 40.3 seconds to play here in the opening quarter. 21-0 on the Bartow County Bank scoreboard as the Hurricanes have full command of this one, and the defense has absolutely shut down Woodland's offense.
Absolutely. They have shown their speed in the interior of their defense, and when they've tried to pass the ball, when Doug Brown has dropped back, he's had all kinds of pressure on him.
Canes working again out of the eye. This time they give it off to number 1, and he crosses the 25, and he'll be brought down right there. A loss of about 4 on the play. That's Chris Griffin, the sophomore, who got the carry. Griffin's got excellent speed, but he really had nowhere to go there. A great effort by the Woodland defensive line as they came in, as the clock goes under 30 seconds to play here in the first quarter. 21-0 our score as we go. The clock continues to run at 20 seconds. Ball spotted at the 31-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 14 for the Hurricane offense as Chris Deach comes into the game with the play.
I predict a passing play right here, Scott.
Working out of the wing tee. One back, and Deach drops back to pass, has time, fires across the middle of the field, has Lavada Johnson at the 40. He breaks loose, crosses midfield, and Lavada is gone. Oh my God, what a play. Lavada Johnson into the end zone for the score. 76 yards in all, 74 yards in all as the Hurricanes go the length of the field. Just a quick slant to Lavada, and he's in the end zone, and it's 27-0. We're not even done with the first quarter, David.
That's unbelievable. I'm really shocked at this, and I'm shocked at the arm that Chris Deach has. I mean, that was a rifle. That was a rifle into Levada Johnson's arms, and once he made that one move around his defender, he was wide open for the goal line.
And now David Thompson will come in to attempt the extra point as the first quarter has come to an end. The snap is up and the kick. And the Canes now make it a 28-0 lead as the first quarter comes to an end. We'll take a 1-minute break and come back right after this.
Where are you? Are you paying for a bank you rarely set foot in? Tired of service charges for services you don't use? We are here to offer you a checking account with the freedom you've been looking for. Wachovia Access Now Checking. It's a way of checking with a minimum of hassle and no minimum balance that rewards you for banking the way you want because it's designed for the way you live. Wachovia, we are here. Let's get started.
If you think that quality lawn tractors only come in green or blue, think again. At Taylor Farm Supply, white is the color and the brand of well-built, reliable lawn tractors for a fraction of the price of those other guys. When you buy a white mower, there is no interest for 1 full year, or make no payment until July 4th. Taylor Farm Supply also carries a full line of still trimmers, blowers, and chainsaws to help give your lawn that manicured, well-kept look. Taylor Farm Supply, changing the color of quality with white. Located at Leake Street by the railroad.
Welcome back to Weinman Stadium as the Hurricanes have taken a 28-0 lead at the end of the first quarter. And we'll start quarter number 2 as David Thompson getting ready to kick it off again, the 5th time tonight. And the kick is deep. Back deep to receive Robert Eccles and Jeremy Green. Green will pick it up at the 6-yard line, crosses the 15, still on his feet at the 20, gets outside, has a lane, one man to beat, and now they come back and make the tackle as they catch him at the 43. And the Hurricanes showed their speed there as Eccles was off to the races, and the Hurricane coverage team came back to get him.
And it was Chris Griffin and actually the kicker David Thompson that was finally there to bring him down at the 42-yard line. This is finally Woodland gets some good field position here, out close to midfield.
So Woodland will start from their own 42.5-yard line, 1st and 10 with 11:51 to go here in the second quarter. Canes load up the line of scrimmage. Cats working out of the eye, wide receiver to each side. Brown gives it up the middle, and they're hit right at the line of scrimmage. On the carry, that was Brian Hill at the fullback position.
And on the tackle was number 44, Jody Fletcher, and a couple of other players as well.
11:34 now to play here in the opening half as the clock continues to move. 28-0 our score. Hurricanes in full command of this one early on as the Wildcats come up to the line of scrimmage. Working out of the I formation, they'll send 2 wide receivers to the left side. And Brown gives it on a pitch to Jeremy Green. In pursuit comes Colby Brinson. He breaks that tackle though, and he's outside across midfield into Hurricane territory. And that'll be very close to a Wildcat first down. We'll see where the spot is. I think it's going to be a little short on the spot. Gained about 8 on the play, needed 11. The ball will be spotted just shy of midfield. So a gain of about 7 on the play. It'll bring up 3rd and 3. Let's give him 8 on that carry. 3rd and 3, the spot for the Wildcat offense as Doug Brown gets the call from the sidelines. Cartersville defensive coordinator Stuart Chester obviously winning the coaching award here tonight as he has shut out this Woodland offense, and we've got a timeout call on the field, and while they take a break, we'll take 30 seconds as well. With 11:04 to play here in the first half, 28-0 our score, Cartersville on top.
It pays to be a Kennesaw State University graduate. Close, convenient, affordable, and more accessible than ever. Kennesaw State offers over 40 bachelor programs, 9 graduate programs, and classes when you want them. Weekdays from 6:30 a.m. to 11 p.m. and weekend classes. The KSU faculty is committed to quality in education. The Kennesaw State campus is located off I-75 at exit 117. Spring semester final deadline for admissions November 19th. Classes start January 10th. Call today 770-423-6300 or check us out at kennesaw.edu.
And welcome back to Weinman Stadium. As we're just underway here in the second quarter, 28-0 our score. Cartersville in full control of this game. As the Canes bring their starting defense back on the field. The Wildcats with a big play here, 3rd and 3, right about midfield as Doug Brown goes under center, working out of the eye. They'll send Eccles in motion to the right side of the formation. He drops back to pass, has time, now under pressure. Here comes the Canes pursuit, and the ball is knocked away. Great defensive effort there by Wes Ross as he comes up to deflect that ball down. That'll bring up 4th down for the Wildcats. And they are still unable to convert a 3rd down.
And there was good pressure by Charles Fluellen also to run him out of the pocket.
So Quinto Aquazima will come in to punt this one away. I'm surprised the Cats aren't going for this one at this point.
I am too, Scott. I was just almost assumed that they were going to go for it. They're at midfield. Cartersville's moved the ball relatively with big plays, and why not go for a confidence booster?
Exactly.
And they fake the punt as it comes right up the middle. They're going to be very close to a 1st down. That was brought right down by the yard marker. We'll see where the spot is. They're spotting it right now just shy of the 47-yard line, I believe. Now the referee's moved. I'll try to get that spot back.
Looks like he may have it by a nose.
It's at the 48, and I don't think he's got that, David. Oh, he does.
He had it by just maybe a half a length of the football.
He didn't get a very good spot either on that.
Cartersville did a good job of picking up on what was going on, though. It was Ronnie Brown out there to help on the stop.
So it'll be 1st and 10 now for the Wildcats after the fake punt with 10:52 to play here in the first half. 28-0 as Brown goes under center. 3 wide receivers in the formation. A 1-back offense. Brown drops back, has time, now throws it deep, lays it up there, and Ronnie Brown comes in to break it up and almost had a pick there as it was in and out of his hands.
Thought maybe he was going to get an interference call on him as he bumped. He bumped Aquazima at about the 30-yard line.
2nd down 10.
Taking a look at some of the game here, Alan Eubanks, the starting free safety for the Wildcats, went down on one of the first plays of the game, and he has not returned to the lineup tonight. So hopefully he's okay. We haven't any word on his injury yet. As the Wildcats come up to the line of scrimmage, 2 wide receivers to the right side of the formation, 1 to the left. Brown goes under center, drops back to pass, has time, now under pressure, and he's taken down from the backside. Coming up on the play, Jody Fletcher, the defensive end on the right side of the formation.
And Charles Fluellen did a good job of forcing the action to go to that direction so Jody Fletcher could come up from behind on Doug Brown.
That was a 5-yard loss for the Wildcats. It'll bring up 3rd and 15. Ball spotted at the 49-yard line. 10:16 to play here in the first half. 28-0 our score. Hurricanes in full control of this one in the first half. Brown comes up to the line of scrimmage for the Cats. Wide receivers to the left side of the formation, 1 to the right side. Single back offense, and now under pressure, and Brown is going to go down hard as the entire defensive line for the Hurricanes came through untouched. And they'll bring him down back at the 35-yard line. We'll see where the spot goes. I think they're going to give him forward progress back up to the 41, but nonetheless, it's going to be 4th and a mile for the Wildcats. And if they get backed up any further, they're going to have to buy a ticket to get back into this game. 9:38 to play here in the first half, and the Canes are going to get the ball back with an opportunity to score, which, as back deep to receive, is Teddy Slocum along with Lee Miles. The Canes will back off on a return as Aquazima gets it. The kick, a floater right down the middle of the field. Lee Miles will pick it up. On the reverse, they give it to Slocum. Slocum's got room to run. He's outside, and there's a clip outside, so that ball's going to come back. Slocum may go the distance here as he dodges and weaves his way. He's outside and gone, but unfortunately for the Canes, that one's coming back. A flag on the far side of the field.
That may make the highlight film.
It's still going to make the film, and what a great run by Teddy Slocum. But there's a clip back at the 31-yard line, and what a great run. And actually, I think he could have gotten by without the clip, but you know, nonetheless, it's going to come back.
The sad thing about that, Scott, is that it was after the clip occurred after Teddy Slocum had passed that area on the field. What a beautiful run, though. He dipped and danced right at midfield and caught the opening and just took off.
And he showed his athleticism right there. And we've seen some excellent plays here by the Cartersville offense and then by their special teams right there. But unfortunately, that ball is going to come back, and that negates what it was just the beauty of a run.
It was absolutely beautiful. And looking at Teddy down on the sideline, he is distraught.
Don't worry, Teddy. We'll put that one on the news for you, because that deserves that's a play of the week right there. You could send that one into Sports Center. What a run. He dodged half the team. The Canes starting to really have a good time down there on the sidelines. Up 28-0 with 9:03 to play here in the first half. And for Woodland, they just would like to stop the bleeding at this point.
Yeah, you can see their adrenaline has just completely deflated.
So the Canes will operate from their 22 as opposed to coming back for a touchdown. Well, so we'll see what the offense can do as Chris Deach gets the call from the sidelines. 9:03 to play here in the first half. 28-0 our score as Cartersville comes up to the line of scrimmage. Two backs in the backfield, J.J. Chapman and Wes Gilmer. And Deach gives it to Wes Gilmer up the middle. He gains 2 or 3 on the play. So get up near the 24-yard line. That'll bring up 2nd and long for the Purple. 8:51 to play here as the clock continues to run before the first half.
Casey Lujan was one of the players in on the tackle for Woodland.
Ball up at the 24-yard line as the Hurricanes will operate 2nd and 8 to call. So 2 yards on that carry for Wes Gilmer. Two backs in the backfield again as the Canes send 2 out to the right side of the formation. That's Lee Miles and Daniel Price, and they give it to Chris Griffin around the right end, and he's caught in the backfield, and he'll be brought down for a loss.
And it was number 34, Kenny Williams, in on the tackle, and also number 26 was there to help out Eldred Pryor and Justin Huffman.
So that'll bring up 3rd and long for the Hurricane offense as Deach gets the call from Frank Barden on the sidelines. So we go under 8 minutes to play here in the first half. 28-0 our score. Hurricanes who put 28 on the board in the first quarter. Almost had another one off of a punt, but Teddy Slocum was robbed of his touchdown, and what a beautiful run that was by a clipping call. So the Canes operating in unfamiliar territory, backed up deep, 3rd and long, and Deach rolls out, has time, now fires for the flat, has a receiver in Lee Miles, and it was just over his head. And a nice ball and a nice pattern, but he was just a step or 2 off right there as the Hurricane offense will now be forced to punt.
The ball just kind of stayed in the air. It kind of started floating. Deach had a lot of pressure coming at him from Huffman, number 9 for the Wildcats.
So David Thompson will punt it away. This is the first punt of the game for Thompson as we go under 7.5 minutes to play here in the first half. 28-0 our score. Hurricanes leading this one. Back deep to receive for the Wildcats, Quinto Aquazama. And the punt, and it's a high floater, and that ball will land at the 45 and take a Woodland bounce, and now the Canes will down it very close to midfield as the Cats will operate with relatively good field position for the first time. 7:18 to play here in the first half. 28-0 our score.
Definitely the best field position to start off tonight for the Wildcats. They got one, they started one out at the 42-yard line that wound up fizzling, but this time they're out at the 45, and hopefully they can do something here to save some face before they go into the locker room at halftime.
And I don't think Woodland was expecting this tonight, David.
I don't think they were either. You know, and also I don't know if Cartersville was expecting this.
Cartersville was intimidated this week. They were getting, not intimidated, but they were preparing hard for this team, and they were ready. First pitch goes to Jeremy Green. He crosses midfield, still on his feet at the 45, at the 40, still gaining ground as he gets brought out of bounds at the 36-yard line.
Finally brought out by Levada Johnson, but he did a good job of changing his direction in the backfield to find the opening on the left side of the field.
That was a very nice run by Jeremy Green as he picks up 15 on the carry. The ball will be spotted down at the 36-yard line from the 51. 7:09 to play here in the first half. 28-0 our score, and the Wildcats threatening here. Maybe they can get something going offensively as they come up to the line of scrimmage, working out of the eye. Two wide receivers to the right side of the formation. Eldred Pryor along with Quinto Aquazima on the right side, and Brown drops back to pass, has time. Now he's going to keep it himself, and he throws for Pryor and completes it at the 31, but we've got a flag down. So that was thrown at the 36-yard line. Looks like holding. It's right in the area of holding, at least. It's called by the side judge. Now it's going to be a false start. So that'll back him up. It'll be 1st and 15 as we go right to 7 minutes to play here in the first half, and Coach Barton's going to take the penalty. Costly mistake there, but still on first down, so not a lot of damage for the Wildcat offense. That play only gained about 4 or 5 yards anyway, so. But they'd rather have 4 or 5 in the positive direction than moving it back 5.
Now it'll be first and looks like it'll be first and about 15.
So instead of 2nd and 5, it's 1st and 15 for the Wildcats. 7 minutes to play here in the first half. Cats in the huddle as they come up to the line of scrimmage. Eldred Pryor, the wide receiver, to the right side of the formation. Aquazima to the left side. Kenny Williams and Jeremy Green in the backfield. They're going to send the tight end in motion to the left side. He goes under center, pitches it outside to the tailback, and he's brought down just across the 40-yard line, down at about the 37. That wasn't Green in the backfield. That was number 32, Brian Hill.
Right, and in on the tackle was number 6, Levada Johnson.
So that makes it 2nd down and 11. A gain of 4 on the play for Brian Hill. And the Cats come up to the line of scrimmage. Once again, they'll work out of the I formation. This time they'll bring twins to the right side of the formation. Eldred Pryor and Aquazima, and Brown drops back to pass, ducks down low, has time, fires across the middle of the field, has a receiver in Aquazima, and he's brought down for a first down. The ball will be spotted at the 23-yard line.
Finally brought down by Wes Ross, and that's a big play for Woodland right here. I know they're down by 28 already in the ball game, but they've kept the ball a little while here, and they're utilizing the different options that they have in their offense, and it's allowing them to stay on the field a little bit longer.
So Woodland finally getting something going offensively as they move back to that pro-I set. Brown goes under center, pitches it outside, and Hill's going to be caught in the backfield as he's knocked out of bounds. Very little gain, if any, on the play. We'll see where the spot goes as it's on the far side of the field.
The pitch was a little bit behind him, and it allowed Courtney Chapman to get into the backfield. By the time he got around Chapman, Levada Johnson was there to run him out of bounds.
Now Robert Eccles will check back into the game in place of Eldred Pryor, and they'll also bring Jeremy Green back in off the sidelines, who had 3 plays of rest. He lost 2 yards on that play, so it'll bring up 2nd and 12. Ball spotted at the 24-yard line. Wildcats working out of the I. Eccles to the wide side of the field, Aquazima to the short side. Brown goes under center, out of the I, drops back to pass, has time now in the reverse, gives it to Eccles. Eccles in the backfield, gets caught, and he's tripped up right at the line of scrimmage. Might have gotten a yard, but I believe on the spot he may have lost a little bit. That'll bring up 3rd and long now as the clock goes under 5:17 to play here in the first half.
Looked like that there was possibly Jody Fletcher that got a hand or a foot out there to trip Robert Eccles up.
The Wildcats will substitute for Kenny Williams as John Taylor comes into the game. And they'll run with 3 wide receivers this time, Jeremy Green being the lone setback. They'll bring the tight end to the right side of the formation as Brown goes under center. Ball spotted at the 26-yard line. Brown goes under center. The snap, drops back to pass, has time, throws across the middle of the field, has a receiver, and we'll see if he caught it, and he did. Nice catch by Quinto Aquazima. Ball spotted down at the 9-yard line. That's good enough for a Wildcat first down. It'll be 1st and goal now at the 9-yard line for the Wildcat offense.
Excellent concentration that time by Quinto Aquazima. The ball was almost to the ground. It kind of lost its oomph and fell to the ground, but he was able to go down and pick it up right at his shoestrings.
Head coach Dorchester wants a little timeout to talk it over with his starting defense. And while they break, so will we. We'll take 30 seconds with 4:41 to play here in the second quarter. 28-0, Cartersville on top on the Bartow County Bank scoreboard.
One minute, things are fine. The next, you need emergency care and you need it now. In an emergency, every second counts, and that's why more and more patients trust Cartersville Medical Center, where the emergency room is designed to provide patients the fastest, highest quality care possible. Cartersville Medical Center, where to go in case of emergency.
And welcome back. You're listening to WBHF AM 1450 in Cartersville and watching Prestige Vision 4. And the Wildcats threatening to score late here in the first half. 28-0. Canes in control of this one right now, but the Wildcats trying to put something on the board as they'll work out of the eye again. 2 wide receivers to the right side of the formation. That's Eccles and Aquazima, and they give it to Green on the backside, and he's caught in the backfield, and he'll be hit down for a loss. That'll bring up 2nd and goal now for the Wildcat offense with 4:30 to play here in the first half as the clock continues to move.
And it was J.J. Chapman there with the initial hit in the backfield. He didn't wrap up, but it slowed him down enough to allow some of those other Canes to get in on the tackle. One of them was number 7, Lee Miles, and also Jody Fletcher got out there by the time he was slowed down.
And now we're going to have another timeout call as Coach Chester's going to go talk to his defense, try to set something up. 2nd and 9 now with 4:09 to play here in the first half. 28-0. We'll take another break. You're watching Prestige Vision 4 and listening to WBHF.
Who are you going to call next time the Glass Busters pay a visit to your car, home, or office?
Matheson Glass is the right choice.
Next time you need a new window, windshield, mirror, or custom-cut piece of glass, remember to call the professionals of your choice, Matheson Glass. Matheson Glass is approved by all major insurance carriers and has a proven record of safety and reliability. So who are you going to call next time the Glass Busters pay you a visit?
Matheson Glass is the right choice.
And welcome back. You're listening to WBHF AM 1450 in Cartersville and watching Prestige Vision 4 as the Wildcats are threatening late here in the first half. Ball spotted at the 9-yard line. 2nd and 9 the call. Green didn't lose any yardage there. They gave him forward progress back to the 9. As the Cats operate out of the I formation, Brown goes under center. And he rolls out to his right, has time, now throws, has a receiver, but the ball is incomplete. That was intended for Brian Hill. So with the incompletion, it's 3rd and 9. 3rd and goal, rather, from the 9-yard line.
Again, Brown had a lot of pressure from several of those defensive linemen on the Cartersville Purple Hurricane defense. It's forcing him to get rid of the ball much quicker than he would like to.
Defensively, Mike Graham comes out of the game for Cartersville. And now the Cats up at the line of scrimmage, working out of the I. A wide receiver to each side. Eccles to the wide side of the field. Aquazima to the short side, and they give it to Jeremy Green on that halfback draw, and they bring him back down. Actually, a halfback trap, and they bring him down for a loss, and that'll bring up 4th and goal as the clock goes under 4 minutes to play here in the first half.
And in on that tackle were Jody Fletcher, Ronnie Brown, and also Lavada Johnson, number 6.
So 4th and short. 4th and 11, rather. So 4th and goal, and I don't believe they're going to go ahead and kick this one. They want to stick something in the end zone. Although points on the board are points on the board.
Exactly. At this point, you want anything you can get.
So Brown will go under center, I formation. He drops back to pass, has time, looks for across the middle, has a receiver, and that ball is broken up, incomplete. And the Hurricanes will take over on downs back at their own 9-yard line. And what a great defensive stand by the Hurricane starters, who are filled with pride as they've just held Woodland on 4 consecutive plays inside the 10. And the Canes will retain the lead here, 28-0, with 3:11 to go here in the first half. And they get a standing ovation from the Hurricane faithful up here on the home side of the field. 3:11 to play here in the first half, 28-0 our score.
I really would have liked to seen Woodland kick a field goal there, just get some points on the board, build on something positive. You're coming up at halftime, have something to come out for in the second half.
It's tough to score from the 11 or 12-yard line on 4th down.
So the Hurricanes will come up to the line of scrimmage. Wes Gilmer, the lone setback, working out of the wing tee. Lee Miles and Chris Griffin in the backfield, and they give it to Lee Miles around the left end. He breaks a tackle, still on his feet at the 20, breaks another tackle at the 30. He's outside. Lee Miles across midfield at the 40, the 30. Lee Miles will turn it on at the 20, the 10, the 5. Touchdown, Cartersville! 2:55 to play here in the first half, and Lee Miles goes 91 yards untouched for the score, and the Canes put another 7 on the board. It's 34-0 here at Weinman Stadium, and Woodland is shell-shocked.
Unbelievable. Cartersville's speed is just putting on a show tonight. Also, the blocking on that offensive line is opening those holes, allowing those guys to get out on the sideline and look for pay dirt.
So David Thompson will come in to kick the extra point for Cartersville. Try to give them a 35-0 lead at the break. 2:55 to play here in the first half. The snap is up, the kick is good. And the Hurricanes lead it 35-0 on the Bartow County Bank scoreboard. We'll take a quick break and come back right after this.
Michelin, because so much is riding on your tires.
And welcome back to Weinman Stadium. 2:55 to play here in the first half. 35-0 our score as Cartersville goes 91 yards as Lee Miles brings it in untouched. Only a sophomore, the future of the Cartersville football program, probably one of the best athletes in the county, and he showed us why right there. 91 yards in for the score, outran the entire Woodland defense as David Thompson set to kick it off for the 6th time this game. Thompson with the kick, and it floats deep. That ball will be returned by Jeremy Green at the 6-yard line. He crosses the 15, out across the 20, still on his feet, and now he's brought down at the 22. A return of 16 for Jeremy Green, and the Wildcats will take over with 2:48 to play here in the first half, 35-0.
Nice play by Luke Bunce to get in on the tackle on that return.
And the Wildcats will try to get something going offensively, Matt.
Yeah, they really need something to build on. I don't know what more I can say than that. I don't know what kind of a difference Alan Eubanks would have made, mixing a little more speed in there and getting a chance to open it up a little bit more.
You make a good point. Alan Eubanks goes down early, but I don't think it would have made a difference at this point. Cartersville has really come to play tonight. All right, Cats working out of a 1-back set. 2 wide receivers to the left side of the formation, and Doug Brown gives it to Green right up the middle, and he's hit right at the line of scrimmage. Maybe gains a yard with 2:41 to play here in the opening half. 35-0 our score. And the clock will continue to run as we go under 2 minutes and 35 seconds, and we've got a player down.
It looks like he just caught a cramp.
That's Jamarcus Watley, and he's okay. He's back up. Might have just gotten the wind knocked out of him.
Scott, he has played as advertised. Solid, good fundamentals. Not going to do anything spectacular, but just solid doing his job.
And he has gotten the job done tonight, Matt. All right, once again, Wildcats spread it out. 2 wide receivers to the left, and Doug Brown's going to drop back under pressure, and Jody Fletcher's got him in the backfield and throws him to the turf at the 11-yard line. And a big-time play by the junior defensive end. And Fletcher came through untouched and let him have it down at the 11-yard line as the clock will continue to run as we go under 2 minutes. And it'll be 3rd and a mile for the Wildcat offense. 3rd and 20, ball spotted back at the 12-yard line. And the Cats better do something here. They want to run as much clock off as possible, because if they're going to give this ball back to Cartersville here, the Canes have another opportunity to score.
That is correct. I look for Jeremy Green to run something to the wide side, something to the outside, hopefully stay in bounds, gain some yardage, put Cartersville back so they don't score again this half.
Cats spread the field again. Doug Brown under center, drops back to pass, has time, floats one up in the backfield, and is going to get a pass interference call as the ball was in the air, and Wes Ross gave him a good shove.
Now, Scott, I know it's a 35-0 ball game. That ball wasn't catchable.
I agree with you, Matt. That ball was thrown out of bounds. It was just a floating duck.
They are discussing it. They may overrule. Well, guess they're not.
They're not. It's going to be pass interference. So that'll be a first down, I believe. Is that an automatic first down?
Yes.
So that'll move them up 15 yards. In pro football, you get an automatic first down from this and wherever the infraction occurred. In college football and high school football, it's a 15-yard penalty.
And an automatic first down.
And an automatic first down, exactly, as they go ahead and move the chains now. A little confusion on that far sidelines. And the ball spotted right across the 30-yard line with 1:10 to play here in the first half. And the Cats might just want to run out the clock at this point. Doug Brown drops back to pass, has time, now under heavy pressure, and here comes Courtney Chapman as he heaves it, and Wes Ross picks up the interception, and the Hurricanes have the football at the 36. And as I was saying, you might just want to go ahead and take a knee at this point. Nothing good can happen when you're trying to rush something before the half.
Great speed by Courtney Chapman coming through there.
And now the Cats might pay for it as Cartersville's offense will take over an excellent field position with 1:11 to play here in the first half. Ball at the 36-yard line.
What do you do if you're Cartersville at this point, Scott?
Try to stick it again in the end zone.
I agree.
If a team can't stop you, you've really got to just continue to push it in there.
Well, they've been working in a few of their second-team players.
I mean, Ronnie Brown hasn't played since the first half. First time he touched the ball, 37 yards, as they give it to Chris Griffin. He gets outside at the 35, breaks a tackle there, still on his feet, very close to the 32-yard line. A gain of a couple on the play. As I was saying, Ronnie Brown hasn't touched the ball since the first half. When he touched it the first time he got the ball, first call of the year, he goes 37 yards. Then he had a little run in there, then a touchdown run. Then he went for the big one, the 95-yard touchdown run when he went coast to coast.
Yeah, he's got 5 rushes for 146 yards and 2 touchdowns.
And they were all in the first half. As a matter of fact, all within the first 8 minutes of the ball game. So Deach goes under center, working out of the wing tee. He's going to send Teddy Slocum in motion, and he gives it to him around the left end, and he's got room to run here. Look out. Teddy Slocum at the 26-yard line he's brought down. Great play there by John Taylor, who came up to meet him, and a great open field tackle. That'll be very close to a first down. If he didn't get it, he'll be about a yard short. It'll be 3rd and a foot for the Hurricane offense, and it's 2-down territory here. 5 seconds to go. Deach goes under center, sends Chris Griffin in motion, and they give it up the middle to Wes Gilmer. He gets the first down, but that'll do it for the first half as the Hurricanes lead it 35-0 on the Bartow County Bank scoreboard. So at the end of the half, our score here, 35-0. Cartersville on top of this one. We'll take a 2-minute break. Actually, before we go to the break, we're going to chat with head coach Frank Barden as David Archer is down on the field. And we're just about ready to go with him. He's got David's got Coach Barden at midfield, and we will go ahead and go to him momentarily. Go ahead, David.
It bothers me a little bit that we're getting so tired on defense.
Okay, and with the success you've had in the first half, what are your plans now for the second half of action?
Well, we'll play a lot of kids, but And you know, that's a good thing that this allows us to get a lot of people on film and a lot of people playing time. But you know, I'm a little concerned about, you know, our wind on defense.
Okay. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Well, there you have it, an interview with head coach Frank Barden. He seems happy with his team's performance, but obviously wants to get as many people in the game as possible here in the second half with his team up 35-0. We're going to take a quick 1-minute break and come back right after this.
What do you look for in a bank? People you know and people you trust. At Crescent Bank, we give you both. Whether it's for your personal checking and savings accounts or for your commercial banking needs, Crescent Bank is ready to earn your business. Crescent Bank is a full-service bank. We offer home equity and real estate loans, commercial loans, MasterCard and Visa, and drive-through and ATM banking. All backed with personal hometown service. Crescent Bank, 2 North Dixie Avenue, Cartersville. People you know, people you trust. Crescent Bank, member FDIC.
And now for our next story. Disasters. They can strike anyone, any place, at any time. Hail, fire, flood, tornadoes, even auto accidents, all can have devastating consequences. If disaster strikes, are you covered? If not, you better call the professionals at Palmer Langford Watkins Insurance, the leaders in fast, dependable professional service for over 50 years. Dan Johnson of the Johnson Agency handles all their health, disability, and life insurance products, so you're covered regardless of your insurance needs. Palmer Langford Watkins Insurance. Don't wait until disaster strikes to get to know them.
And welcome back to Weinman Stadium as the Woodland Band is ready to assemble, and we'll turn it over to them in just a second after we recap the scoring here in the first half. Cartersville got on the board first with a 7-yard touchdown run by senior Ronnie Brown. Then with 4:06 to play in the first quarter, Brown went again, this time from 95 yards away. He scored again with 2:43 to play in the first quarter. Chris Deach hooked up with Teddy Slocum for a 45-yard touchdown pass, and that ball carried most of the way in the air. Then with no time left on the clock in the first quarter, Deach hooked up with Lavada Johnson for 74 yards and a score. And then with 2:55 to play in the first half, Lee Miles went 91 yards all by himself, untouched. And just like that, the Hurricanes are in command of this one, 35-0. Let's break down some quick stats in the first half.
Scott, the numbers don't lie. Chris Deach, 4-7 for 145. Ronnie Brown, 5 carries for 146. Teddy Slocum, 3 carries, 64 yards. Lee Miles, 1 run, 89 yards. Lavada Johnson, 1 catch for 76 yards. For Woodland, Jeremy Green's been the workhorse, 15 carries, 59 yards. Doug Brown thrown 3 for 12, 43 yards and an interception. Quenta Ikwazima had 1 nice reception, actually had 2 for 30 yards.
And there you have it, all the stats here in the first half. We're going to throw it over to the Woodland Band now, as we'll be right back after this.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Cartersville School Board, Superintendent Dr. Mike Bryan, and Cartersville High School Principal Biddy Morgan, we proudly present the Cartersville High School Marching Band. The band is under the direction of Band Director Mr. David Turner and Assistant Director Mr. Dave Cohealy. Band officers are Erica Strauss, Cindy McAfee, Dustin Riker, Emily Collier, and Caroline Duncan. The band is under the direction of drum major Jody Martin. The drum captain is Philip Finley. Flag captain is Brandy Gaiman. Co-captain is Stephanie Blue. Major captain is Erica Robertson. Co-captain is Tracy Hunt. The ensign captain is Paris Goggins. And co-captain is Tiffany Woodall. Tonight's show will feature musical selections from the hit Broadway musical Motion Picture 3. Tonight, the band will open with the Back to School Alma Mater. Next, we'll feature our phenomenal auxiliaries in the hit Summer Night. Then we'll slow things down with a great 50s ballad, Since I Don't Have You, featuring our saxophonist, Jimmy Kunai. And finally, we'll close tonight's show with a sing-along called We Go Together, so come along and join in. And now, ladies and gentlemen, you waited all summer, the Cartersville Triple Hurricane Marching Band!
Tired of playing the waiting game when it comes to getting your prescriptions filled? That's not a worry at Holtz Pharmacy. At Holtz Pharmacy, we're still a hometown business offering personalized, quick service for all your pharmaceutical needs. And now Holtz Pharmacy welcomes Warnie Bennett to our staff. Warnie is here to help new and old customers with all their prescription needs, including transfers. For your next prescription, come in and see the folks you know and trust at Holtz Pharmacy. Located at 406 Grassdale Road, call 770-382-5757.
Where are you? Are you paying for a bank you rarely set foot in? Tired of service charges for services you don't use? We are here to offer you a checking account with the freedom you've been looking for. Wachovia Access Now Checking. It's a way of checking with a minimum of hassle and no minimum balance that rewards you for banking the way you want, because it's designed for the way you live. Wachovia, we are here. Let's get started.
If you think that quality lawn tractors only come in green or blue, think again. At Taylor Farm Supply, white is the color and the brand of well-built, reliable lawn tractors for a fraction of the price of those other guys. When you buy a white mower, there is no interest for 1 full year, or make no payment until July 4th. Taylor Farm Supply also carries a full line of still trimmers, blowers, and chainsaws to help give your lawn that manicured, well-kept look. Taylor Farm Supply, changing the color of quality with white. Located at Leake Street by the railroad.
It pays to be a Kennesaw State University graduate. Close, convenient, affordable, and more accessible than ever. Kennesaw State offers over 40 bachelor programs, 9 graduate programs, and classes when you want them. Weekdays from 6:30 a.m. to 11 p.m. and weekend classes. The KSU faculty is committed to quality in education. The Kennesaw State campus is located off I-75 at exit 117. Spring semester final deadline for admissions November 19th. Classes start January 10th. Call today 770-423-6300 or check us out at kennesaw.edu.
And welcome back. You're watching Prestige Vision 4 and listening to WBHF AM 1450 in Cartersville. I'm Scott Singer along with David Archer Jr. and Matt Santini up here in the booth as we're live at Weinman Stadium on the campus of Cartersville High School. And at the half, the Hurricanes in full control of this one, 35-0. And the Canes offense has just been a little too much for the Wildcat defense. Of course, the Wildcat offense has shown a little bit of spark here in the second half, the late parts of the first half, David.
Right. I think in the first quarter they were solely relying on, or at least hoping that their passing game was going to get them off in the first, in the first quarter. It did not. It allowed Cartersville's defense to play very little time on the field in the first quarter at least, and Cartersville was able to use their quick offensive firepower to put points on the board. I think it kind of shell-shocked Woodland there in the first quarter. They came back a little bit and played a little better towards the end of the first half as they kept the ball a little bit longer, utilized the running game, gave the ball to Jerry McGreen a few times, and he was able to ground out some yardage. And then it opened the passing game back up a little bit. I think Doug Brown had so much pressure on him in the first quarter because all they were doing was going to the pass, and he was just lofting the ball up for anybody to grab because he had so much pressure on him. Maybe in the second half they will be able to come out and utilize the different attacks that they do have, and I doubt that they'll be able to come back from 35-0 down, but they can make it respectable.
I agree with you, and Woodland really starting to really move the football well here in the second half. I mean, in the late parts of the first half, as I said, they got down inside the 10, and then all of a sudden it kind of broke down as the Cartersville defense really came alive there and really showed that they've got a lot of pride and they want to keep everybody out of the end zone this year.
Right.
Scott, two schools of thought here. On the Cartersville side, you want to keep on hammering the system that you've got working. It's early in the season. You don't want to show future opponents what else you've got in your arsenal. On the Woodland side, pretty much the same thing. I would think they want to stay with what's working as far as their system goes, and hopefully they can kind of get their timing back together a little bit and have a little more success than they had in the first half. They do have a lot of skill players. They may be able to start opening up a little bit and throwing the ball in the second half. That's yet to be seen.
Chris Deach has looked really good offensively tonight. Talk a little bit about his yardage, Matt.
Well, he came out throwing. Didn't have to throw that many times to rack up a lot of yards. 4 of 7 to 145. He's got 1 touchdown. That, of course, was a long throw to Levada Johnson, 76 yards.
Actually, 2 touchdowns. He also hit Teddy Slocum, not Teddy Slocum, yeah, Teddy Slocum for a 45-yard touchdown pass. So 2 touchdowns by Chris Deach, and he has really been threading the needle. And I mean, Now, he had some arm surgery this summer, and I kind of questioned his arm strength just from the sheer fact that he'd be coming off surgery. But he looks like he is healed up 100%, and he is on fire.
Oh, he really surprised me. I knew he probably had some arm strength, but I wondered about his mobility in the pocket, and he's shown that he has plenty of mobility, and his height advantage, seeing over the defensive line, is tremendous in allowing him to see across the middle of the field and really see the entire field, and that's exactly what he's done tonight. His arm strength, I mean, he throws like a bullet.
And now as we go back down to the field, Woodland will kick it off as the Canes will get the ball to start the second half. Back deep to receive is Chris Griffin, and it's sort of a squib kick as it will bounce around to the 20-yard line. Lee Miles bobbles it, now picks it up, and he'll reverse his field. Lee Miles brought down just across the 20-yard line. And the Hurricanes will go to work from there. The Canes will obviously rest some starters here in the second half, and we'll see who they bring. But now they're going to bring out Ronnie Brown and Lavada Johnson as they go with the first-team offense to get things started early on here in the second half. And I think that's just customary to give them a couple series when you're up this much.
Right. Coach Bard did say right at the end of halftime that he would be utilizing his other players throughout the second half, but also he said his concern in the first half was the fact that he could tell his defense was getting winded throughout the first half.
So the Canes working out of a wing to the left, and they give it to Ronnie Brown, and he gets caught right at the line of scrimmage and is brought down. And Brown gets up off of the pile as he was hit by a plethora of Wildcat defenders right at the line of scrimmage.
And two of those were Kenny Williams and Casey Lujan.
So it's about a loss of maybe half a yard on the play, really, or maybe a foot. It's going to be 2nd and 10 now for the Hurricane offense from their own 20-yard line. 11:20 to play here in the third quarter. Canes work out of the wing tee. Brown the lone setback. They send Slocum in motion and give it to him around the left end, and he'll get maybe half a yard on the play, and that'll bring up 3rd and 10 now for the Hurricane offense.
Dustin Huffman was waiting low there. I don't think Teddy Slocum saw him at first. He was looking beyond Huffman, and suddenly he was there.
Lavada Johnson checks into the game for the Hurricanes as he brings the play in from the sidelines. He'll replace Daniel Price, who will leave the field. Teach goes under center. J.J. Chapman, the lone setback. Ronnie Brown lines up in the A-back position, or actually the wing back, and he drops back to pass. Now with time, Deach throws it deep, has a receiver in Teddy Slocum, and it's just through his fingertips. Slocum would have been gone if he'd caught that ball as he ran right underneath it. And once again, a good-looking ball by Chris Deach, and the timing was just a second or two off. But you've got to feel good if you're a Cartersville coach, knowing that these plays are starting to develop.
Exactly. I mean, he's putting the ball right on the money. At that time, Eldred Pryor probably threw Teddy Slocum's concentration off just a little bit. Otherwise, he would have had that ball and gone for a touchdown.
So the Canes will come in to punt, back deep to receive Quinto Aquazima. And the snap is up, and the kick is a good one, a deep floater. That ball will be fielded back at the 36-yard line. Quinto steps a little bit. Now he'll be in pursuit. He gets outside at the 41. Now he'll be cracked down at the 43 as the Wildcats will take over 1st and 10 in good field position with 10:06 to play here in the third quarter. And we'll see what the Cartersville defense can do.
And that was J.J. Chapman, Lavada Johnson, and also number 54 in on the tackle for Cartersville, and that is Colby Brinson.
So the Canes lead at 35-0 here in the third quarter, 10:06 to play. As the Hurricanes defensively will try to get something going and stop the Cats, who go to a 3-wide receiver attack. Actually 4 wides now.
1st and 10 from the shotgun.
One back in the backfield. Brown out of the shotgun for the first time tonight. He drops back to pass under pressure, throws it for the sidelines, and it's incomplete over the head of number 2, Robert Eccles.
Eccles looked a little bit confused, Scott. I think he thought maybe there was a receiver farther out to the sideline other than himself, because he just kind of watched the ball go over his head when he could have taken a few steps back maybe and attempted to catch it.
So the Wildcats running with a no-huddle offense here. Ball up on the 43-yard line, 2nd and 10. Under 10 minutes to play now, and Courtney Chapman comes in untouched, and they deliver it to Okwazama over the middle. And he gets the ball up to the 48-yard line, a gain of 5 on the play.
Lee Miles in on the stop, and I like that look for Woodland. It's giving Doug Brown a little bit more time to see the field and get the pass off.
So the Cats go into that 4 wide receiver set, no huddle again, 3rd and 6. I guess it is, out of the shotgun again. Here comes Courtney Chapman, and he puts the pressure on him, and Doug Brown goes hard to the turf. And that's what the Hurricanes are going to do in these 4 wide receiver sets. We talked about it in the pregame. They're going to bring Chapman untouched to the quarterback, and Doug Brown is going to have very little time to get rid of the football. Perfect example right there. He has to throw it away, and the Wildcats have to punt. Back deep to receive now Lavada Johnson and Lee Miles, as the Hurricane offense will get another crack at it. As the Cats go 3 and out here to start the second half. 9:26 to play here in the 3rd quarter. As Okwazama back on his own 34-yard line gets the snap and the kick. As the Hurricanes put on the return, and he's going to kick it to the sidelines. And Lavada is going to watch that one go out of bounds close to the 18-yard line. So the Hurricanes will take over. That's going to be spotted between the 18 and 19-yard line. So the Canes about 81 yards away from where they want to be with 9:11 to play here in the 3rd quarter. They lead at 35-0, and they are going to go back with their starting offense.
Looks like J.J. Chapman will be out there in the backfield.
Chris Deach gets the call from the sidelines, and he'll come in to bring it in. For the Hurricanes, you want to keep the intensity up. A lot of Woodland fans, I guess, have gone home. The sidelines over there seem semi-depleted. About half the fans that started the game are still here. Deach working with 2 backs in the backfield, gives it to Ronnie Brown outside. He breaks a tackle at the line of scrimmage, stays on his feet, and now he'll be brought down right at the line of scrimmage.
Nice containment that time by Woodland. 56 Scott Spivey and number 24 Nick Morrow in on the tackle for Woodland.
So the Canes will operate from the near hash mark.
Give this Woodland defense a little credit. They've come out and stopped Cartersville first in the first series, and they're doing a pretty good job in the second series. It's time for their offense to step up and give them a little breather.
Exactly.
So the Canes once again working out of the wing tee. They put Ronnie Brown in the slot. J.J. Chapman, the lone setback. Deach on the throw inside to Lavada Johnson, and a nice pickup out to the 29-yard line. That'll be very close to a Cartersville first down.
56 Scott Spivey in on the tackle for Woodland. And again, that is about exactly where Chris Deach needed to place the ball, because there was a defender on that side, on the opposite side of Lavada Johnson. He threw it to the back of him. He had to reach back, but that's where the ball needed to be if it was going to be caught.
An 11-yard pickup for the Hurricane offense and a first down with 8:05 to play here in the 3rd quarter. Canes leading at 35-0 on the Bartow County Bank scoreboard. Deach going under center, working out of the wing tee. Drops back to pass, has time, fires for the flat for Teddy Slocum. He breaks a tackle right there at the 40 on his feet across midfield, and he's brought down at the 46-yard line of Woodland. I think they're going to say he stepped out of bounds right around the 47. But nonetheless, a 23-yard pickup for the Hurricane offense.
Good speed by Teddy Slocum. J.J. Jones was there to finally run him out of bounds before he was able to get up the sideline.
Well, Chris Griffin checks into the game in place of number 20, Ronnie Brown. So the Canes come up to the line of scrimmage, ball spotted at the 48-yard line. 7:46 to play here in the 3rd quarter. Deach goes under center. Sends Griffin in motion and gives it up the middle. And J.J. Chapman carries it across the 45-yard line down to about the 43.
And on the tackle were number 34, Kenny Williams, and number 67, Robert Applin Jr. for the Wildcats.
That'll bring up second. It was about 4 yards, 4.5 yards on the carry. It'll bring up 2nd and 6 for the Hurricane offense. Ball spotted at the 44-yard line. Lee Miles, the wide receiver, to the wide side of the field. Canes work with 2 backs in the backfield. Working out of an offset eye. Deach drops back, has time, now under pressure, throws it deep, has a receiver, but it's intercepted down at the 23-yard line. And a good-looking defensive play right there.
That was John Taylor, number 14.
John Taylor came up with the pick, and now the Wildcats will get the ball back at their own 24-yard line. And Deach put it up there, and John Taylor just had great position defensively.
I think Deach knew where the play was supposed to go, and once he got into that trouble in the pocket, he just took one step to the side and just heaved the ball, hoping it would get there out in front of the intended receiver, who was Lee Miles. The ball was left a little bit short for John Taylor to make the interception.
Ball on the 24-yard line. Cats working out of the eye. Tight end to the left side, and the ball is fumbled at the line of scrimmage, and I kind of think the Canes have fallen on this one. We'll see who came up with it.
I see Jody Fletcher down in there, and Jeremy Green did fall back in that direction, so he may have gotten it.
I think Green got it. Looked like a whole bunch of purple jerseys, and then Jeremy Green comes out with the ball. Big break there for the Wildcats. And that'll bring up 2nd and 10. Ball on the 25-yard line. 6:27 to play here in the third quarter. Cats up at the line of scrimmage. Once again, Woodland will work out of the I formation. Wide receiver to each side. Eccles to the far side, Aquazima to the near side. Brown drops back to pass, has time, now under pressure. Here comes Wes Gilmer. He's got a hand on him, but he delivers the pass outside. It's incomplete. Ball goes over the head. Intended for number 83. Brandon Grunseth, the tight end.
And providing the pressure for the Canes was Wes Gilmer and Jody Fletcher, number 44.
And David, when you say pressure, it's untouched pressure. And it's not because they're running through anybody. It just seems like the Woodland scheme, they're not leaving any blockers out there to protect Doug Brown. He's having to roll out, run away from the pressure, and then try to make a throw off on the run.
Exactly, and that could be exactly because they have too many receivers set up on either side. No one's left back to help out on the blocking.
I formation now for the Wildcats. 2 wide receivers to the left side. Doug throws it off the line of scrimmage, and it's incomplete. Intended for number 3, Quinto Aquazima. Quinto wanted a flag, but it's an incomplete pass. It'll bring up 4th and long, and the Wildcats will have to punt. The clock stops now with 5:54 to play in the game. Kind of interesting, as Woodland continues to throw the ball, the clock continues to stop, and this game becomes longer and longer and longer.
Right, and that's exactly why they need to mix it up and try to run. You know, they are down, and what they need to do is they need to work on their offensive scheme and not just try to get back into the ball game by passing solely.
The Canes now bring off a return. They showed like they were going to put some pressure on it first, but now they're going to go ahead with the return. Coming on to make the catch is Teddy Slocum. He breaks a tackle, loses the football, and I think he fell on it.
Number 3, carrying the ball comes loose.
And the Hurricanes will start with good field position up at the 42-yard line.
He does retain possession.
You can always tell when the other team's not dancing around, moving the arm. You kind of know they felt like they never got it. So the Woodland defense will come onto the field to face the Cartersville offense, and they're making some substitutions as Ronnie Brown will leave the field along with Lee Miles. And Chris Deach will bring his army up to the line of scrimmage. Ball spotted at the 43-yard line. 1st and 10 now for the Canes. 5:37 to play here in the third quarter. Canes go to twins to the right side of the formation, 2 backs in the backfield, and Chris Griffin will get the call up the middle, and he gets outside. He's broken a tackle. He's across midfield. He's at the 40, the 30, the 20, the 10, and Chris Griffin will score as the sophomore walks into the end zone, and the Hurricanes are up 41-0. And when it rains, it pours here at Weinman Stadium, and the Hurricanes are starting to roll again offensively, and now they're doing it with some younger guys in the lineup. So David Thompson will now come on to convert the extra point as the Canes lead this one 41-0 with 5:23 to play here in the third quarter. The snap is up, and the kick. And it's good. And the Canes lead it 42-0 on the Bartow County Bank scoreboard. We'll be right back after this.
1 minute, things are fine. The next, you need emergency care and you need it now. In an emergency, every second counts, and that's why more and more patients trust Cartersville Medical Center, where the emergency room is designed to provide patients the fastest, highest quality care possible. Cartersville Medical Center, where to go in case of emergency.
Home opener.
Absolutely. They've had what now? That's 4 or 5 different players score a touchdown. That time, Chris Griffin, who's had trouble getting to the sideline, getting out on the corner in his previous carries, finally got out there and really showed why he's been in the ball game. You know, periodically throughout the game, he has a lot of speed.
Chris Griffin, who really didn't get a lot of production in his first couple carries, just Woodland had played great defense, and he finally got a breakaway, and they say he's one of the fastest guys on the team.
Well, apparently so.
Scott, there is a Woodland player down that was injured on a point after. Looks like they're working on either a right knee or right ankle, but he looks to be in a pretty good bit of pain. I can't get a jersey number yet.
85. Looks like 85.
That's 85. That's Gabe Gibbs. And he's going to get off. He's going to be able to walk off the field. And he's able to put pressure on both legs, so it seems to be okay. So fortunately, nothing serious for Gabe Gibbs, who will be a big part of this Woodland defense this year at nose guard, and was a big part of their defense last year.
Are we going to make it?
So David Thompson will kick off as his Canes lead it 42-0.
Number 9, Dave Thompson, seeing the ball up. Back seat for Woodland. Number 2.
So we'll just await the referee's whistle. Thompson with the kick, and he gets his foot underneath it, and that ball will land right around the 9-yard line as Jeremy Green will bring it back. He crosses the 20, still on his feet at the 25, across the 26, and he'll be brought down right around the 28-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Wildcat offense here in the third quarter, 5:13 remaining. Cartersville leading this one 42-0 on the Bartow County Bank scoreboard.
Big hit by sophomore Shannon Winters on the stop on that. I believe that's the second play he's made on special teams tonight.
Shannon Winters gets the congratulations from defensive coach Stuart Chester. You see some fans enjoying the game. And the Wildcats come out with 2 wide receivers to the right side of the formation. Now they're going to send Eccles in motion, bring him to the other side. Brown goes under center, tight end to the left side. And Brown's going to drop back, throws to the opposite field, gets it to Quinto at the 30. He's got a lane. Now he breaks it at the 36-yard line. It'll be brought down right around the 39. A good-looking play by Woodland offensively. Looked like there was some movement on the line, but it wasn't called. So the play stands, and the Wildcats move the football. Ball spotted just shy of the 40-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10.
Teddy Slocum was the Cartersville player in on the tackle.
All right, Woodland up at the line of scrimmage. They'll work out of the eye this time. Eccles way outside. They're going to bring Grunseth to the left side of the formation now, to the wide side of the field. Brown under center, drops back. Now they give it up the middle, and he's got some room to run as he crosses the 50 down to the 44-yard line.
Look,
that was Brian Hill.
Right.
I wanted to say Jeremy Green, but Brian Hill in there at tailback.
Huge hole up the middle.
And a good-looking play right there for the Woodland offense as they caught the Canes off guard.
And this is what Coach Barton was talking about right at the end of the first half. He said he was concerned with his defense appearing to be pretty winded, and they do look a little winded.
The Hurricanes offense has been so productive it doesn't really give the defense much time to rest. As the Canes come up to the line of scrimmage, Cats working out of that eye again, driving back to pass. He throws it across the middle of the field, has a receiver in Jeremy Green down at the 35-yard line, and he's brought down to the 34. And it'll be very close to another Wildcat first down, a pickup of 10 on the play on first down. And the Cats will wait the spot here to see if they move the chains. They may have to measure this one. They're going to go ahead and move them anyway. Ball just inside the 44-yard line, and we've got some cramps here as Lavada Johnson stretching out a little bbit.
He was calling for a substitute, and the coaches wouldn't send anybody in for him. He was like, "Coach, please."
Lavada just working out a couple cramps as they take a timeout on the field, and while they take time, so will we. With 4:05 to play here in the third, it's 42-0, Cartersville on top.
Who are you going to call next time the Glass Busters pay a visit to your car, home, or office?
Matheson Glass is the right choice.
Next time you need a new window, windshield, mirror, or custom-cut piece of glass, remember to call the professionals of your choice, Matheson Glass. Matheson Glass is approved by all major insurance carriers and has a proven record of safety and reliability. So who are you going to call next time the Glass Busters pay you a visit?
Matheson Glass is the right choice.
And welcome back to the Prestige Division 4 High School Football Game of the Week. It's Cartersville and Woodland here from Weinman Stadium. And with 4:05 to play here in the third quarter, the Canes leading at 42-0 on the Bartow County Bank scoreboard. But it is 1st and 10 for the Wildcats at the Cartersville 34-yard line as the Cats are finally getting some offensive production here late in the third quarter. We just had a timeout because Lavada Johnson was down with some cramps. He's back on the sidelines and seems to be okay, just drinking some water. That'll happen in these early games of the season when the weather is so hot. All right, Wildcats working out of that I formation again, and they give it to Jeremy Green up the middle, and he breaks a tackle at the line of scrimmage, and he'll be brought down at the 32-yard line.
He was hit by Wesley Gilmer, who was able to break up his stride and cause him to fall forward.
I'm at 5 yards off here. It's actually down at the 28-yard line that he was brought down. I'm at the wrong hash mark. 3:28 to play here in the third quarter. 42-0 as the Cats come up to the line of scrimmage. Ball spotted at the 28-yard line. Working out of the I formation, 2 wide receivers. Eccles to the near side, Quinto to the far side. Brown drops back and gives it to Green up the middle on the draw play, and the Canes are there to meet him at the line of scrimmage.
Jody Fletcher was the player in on the tackle for the Canes. That's number 44. He got about 1, maybe 1.5 yards on the carry.
Fletcher did a nice job of shedding his blocker rather, and making the tackle. Wildcats coming up to the line of scrimmage, ball on the 32-yard line. I'm sorry, the 27-yard line. I'm still a hash mark away. Cats send Grunstedt to the left side of the formation. Canes shift. Wildcats under center. Doug Brown pitches it off to Jeremy Green on the sweep, but Courtney Chapman is there to meet him in the backfield and throws him to the turf. Back at the 36, and that'll be a big loss. That'll bring up 4th down, and that may end the Cats' drive. We'll see what they do.
That hurt. That really hurt. The left side of that offensive line didn't do the job that time.
Well, David, once again, I think it's scheming. They've got more players than they do blockers over there.
Right.
If they're going to load up that side, you're going to need to do an audible at the line or do something to run away from the disadvantage in numbers.
Wildcats up at the line of scrimmage. They'll bring the tight end to the right side of the formation. 2 wide receivers. Quinto to the far side. Eccles to the near side. Brown drops back to pass. He gives it up the middle on the draw play to Jeremy Green, and he breaks a tackle or 2, and now he's across the 30 down to about the 26-yard line, but it will be well short of the 1st down, and the Hurricane offense will take over on downs with 1:44 to play here in the third quarter with a very comfortable 42-0 lead.
That was really, Scott, to me, a pretty clever play to call. He had some running room, but it just closed in on him about 2 yards away from the 1st down.
And Woodland is doing a good job offensively. They're just seeing so much speed on the defensive side of the ball that they're having trouble moving it.
Right.
But the play calling has been very good, and they've been executing fairly well here in the latter half of this first half and the beginning here of the second half. Canes now will take over 1st and 10 from their own 28-yard line. 1:44 to play here in the third quarter. And Lee Miles has come in at quarterback for the Hurricanes as he goes under center, and he gives it off to Chris Griffin up the middle, and Griffin is hit right at the line of scrimmage. And he will go down right there, and that'll bring up 2nd and 10 as the clock continues to move as we go close to 1:30 to play here in the third quarter.
And on that tackle for Woodland was number 34, Kenny Williams.
So Teddy Slocum getting the call from the sidelines will bring the play in. for quarterback Lee Miles, and this is sort of the future of Cartersville football. Lee Miles will be the quarterback next year when Deach departs to graduation, and it's good to see him getting playing time, just like it was last year, Chris Deach getting time when Brett Ward took a seat.
Right.
Canes will work out of the wing tee. Chris Griffin in the backfield. I'm sorry, J.J. Chapman in the backfield, Griffin in the slot. And now we've got a penalty against the defense. That'll be a 5-yarder. So it makes it 2nd and 4 now for the Hurricane offense. 2nd and 5. Ball up at the 33, and you don't want any mental mistakes at this point if you're Woodland. You like to keep everything. The game may be out of reach, but you'd like to keep things going smoothly because you have to carry this into Murray County next week when they'll go into a very hostile place to play up in Chatsworth.
Scott, in at the slot is Chris Callahan, number 33.
They give it off to Chris Griffin around the left end, and he'll have a hard time getting some yardage as he's brought down back at the 28-yard line, but we've got another flag on the play. That's right in the realm of holding, but we'll see what the call is.
By number 14, John.
Chris Callahan, as I said, is in at the slot, and he is a freshman. Also, Daniel Price, number 2, has re-entered the ball game at wide receiver.
And the penalty will now be assessed as it's marked off against the Canes.
Some of the other players that I believe have entered the ball game for Cartersville: number 53, Chris Scoggins, and on the offensive line, number 73, Matt Popham.
Antoine Hill has come in at the wingback position. And now I have not seen him touch the ball yet, but I understand that he can absolutely fly. The coaching staff was very high on him this week. Another one of those young players, only a sophomore, coming out of that freshman class they had last year.
Right, and he's a tall, Antoine is tall. He's probably 6'2", 6'3".
So Lee Miles goes under center to run the offense out of the wing tee. Lee drops back to pass, has time as he rolls out. Now breaks a tackle, still on his feet at the 25, and he'll bring it back out to about the 28, which was the original line of scrimmage, and it'll be 3rd and long now for the Hurricane offense. Good looking play there, and Lee Miles has the ability to make you miss, especially running out of that backfield. It's almost like Deach is sort of a drop back power passer that can really throw the ball on a rope. Lee Miles has an equally as strong arm, but has the ability to make you miss.
Right.
And the combination of the two can be very lethal to any defense. And we've got a timeout, or actually the end of the 3rd quarter here, as the Hurricanes traditionally hold up 4 fingers, and they're holding them up now as the Canes enter the 4th quarter, leading at 42-0 on the Bartow County Bank scoreboard. We'll take a 1-minute break and be right back after this.
Michelin, because so much is riding on your tires.
What do you look for in a bank? People you know and people you trust. At Crescent Bank, we give you both. Whether it's for your personal checking and savings accounts or for your commercial banking needs, Crescent Bank is ready to earn your business. Crescent Bank is a full-service bank. We offer home equity and real estate loans, commercial loans, MasterCard and Visa, and drive-through and ATM banking. All backed with personal hometown service. Crescent Bank, 2 North Dixie Avenue, Cartersville. People you know, people you trust. Crescent Bank, member FDIC.
And welcome back to Weinman Stadium. You're watching Prestige Vision 4 and listening to WBHF AM 1450 in Cartersville. I'm Scott Singer along with David Archer Jr. and Matt Santini up here in the booth as the Hurricanes will now take over offensively. It's 3rd and 10 as they switch ends of the field, and Lee Miles brought in at quarterback, working out of the wing tee. Drops back to pass. He's got plenty of time. Miles looking deep. Now he's going to keep it himself. Now he steps back, looking deep, and he's going to heave it. Miles has a receiver in Antoine Hill, and it's incomplete. Great defensive effort there as the ball was broken up by Eldred Pryor.
I tell you what, Lee Miles was determined to throw the ball that time.
We've got an ineligible man downfield.
Got a flag on the play.
That'll be a penalty against the Canes. I would assume Woodland would decline this one and try to take the ball. That was 3rd and 10, so it would bring up 4th down, and they do. 11:46 to play here in the 4th quarter. 42-0 our score. Woodland still looking for their first points of the night.
4th down. There's something back to punt. Back deep. Number 3.
And the stands on the far side of the field just keep getting thinner and thinner and thinner as this game goes on. Almost seems like the stands over here are starting to get even more and more packed as David Thompson comes in to get the kick, and he just gets that one off. It'll bounce down at the 45-yard line and take a Cartersville bounce out of bounds down to the 43, where Woodland will take over with good field position. With 11:33 to play here in the 4th quarter, Canes leading at 42-0 on the Bartow County Bank scoreboard. Ball will be spotted on the far hash mark as the Wildcats will go to work. Doug Brown gets the call from the sidelines. Wildcats up at the line of scrimmage. Grunsis, the tight end, comes to the left side of the formation. Wildcats in their pro eye. And Brown drops back to pass, has time, fires for the flat, has a receiver. It's caught at the 50, still on his feet, down at the 45, and brought down at the 44-yard line.
That was Brian Hill on the reception, and he actually got tripped up by his own player, number 83, who is Brandon Grunsis,
the tight end. So Doug Brown gets the call from the sidelines, and the Woodland offense trying to get something going here late in this one. 11:15 to play here in the 4th quarter. Wildcats working out of the eye again. Hurricane defense has had a lot of time on the field tonight. Their offense has been able to score quickly and often. And that gives the Cats a lot of time offensively. And now in the backfield, ball is knocked down. I think the ball's loose. We'll see who comes up with it. I think the Wildcats will hang on to this one. No, they won't. The Hurricanes take over as they pick up the fumble. Well, my jumping up and down theory just went to pot right there. All right, ball on the 47-yard line. Hurricanes take over 1st and 10 with 10:39 to play here in the opening quarter. And every time Woodland tries to move an inch, the Canes defense just takes it away.
Absolutely. It's got to be demoralizing for the Wildcats.
So the Canes offense will go back to work. Once again, Lee Miles in at quarterback. Out of the wing tee, Chapman, Slocum, and Chris Griffin, and they give it to Chapman up the middle, and JJ gets about a yard before he's brought down by almost the entire Wildcat line.
One of those was Cameo Towns, number 20. He's just a sophomore.
That's just a really cool name.
Cameo Towns. It sounds...
sounds bad. 46. 46-yard line here for the Hurricanes. Up at the line of scrimmage. Tight end to the right side of the formation. Miles under center. Drops back off the line of scrimmage. Under pressure. Throws for the flat for Slocum. It's incomplete. Right at midfield. So with 46 to play here in the 4th quarter. Canes leading at 42-0, and that'll bring up 3rd and long for the Hurricane offense. Most of the Hurricane starters on the sidelines now. People have been mixed around, and they're moving up some different guys on the offensive line.
Looks like Woodland's making wholesale changes just about every play, too.
So So Lee Miles under center. Drops back to pass, has time, throws for the flat for Slocum, and it's in and out of his hands right at midfield.
Scott, some of those other guys in for Woodland. Number 1, Bryant Lowe. Number 53, Seth Wilhoit in at linebacker. Looks like number 17, Art Finch. Number 2, Robert Eccles is back in right now. They're bringing some of the starters back in.
Gabe Gibbs, who was injured earlier, he's back in the game now too.
Number 77, Dan Whaley, in on the defensive line.
And the kick by Thompson, and he sends that one deep, and that is a nice punt. Ball lands at the 10-yard line, and Quasima loses the handle, now picks it back up, starts to run, and now the Cartersville coverage comes and gets him down at the 22-yard line, and the Wildcats will take over.
He was brought down by J.J. Chapman after it appeared to be about a 12-yard return.
I gotta say, the field tonight looks incredible. Nice painting job. I know a lot of the parents worked on this field this week, and they've done an excellent job. And it just shows, you know, how important they are to the success of a program. They get this kind of those little things that the coaches really don't want to take care of or can't take care of.
Right, don't have time to. I like the accentuation on the purple outlining on the numbers.
And the royal purple paint looks really, really good tonight. All right, Wildcats with the football. 3 wide receivers as they send one in motion. Fake to the running back rather. Now they give it to Quasima, who gets outside, and he runs back across the grain and picks up about 9 on the play. As I get tongue-tied at the 29-yard line.
That passing play right there has been pretty effective for them tonight. That's 3 or 4 times now they've gone to Quasima right there where he curls back in, and once he makes the catch, he cuts back into the inside looking for his yardage.
That was an 8-yard pickup for the Wildcat offense. As we go under 8.5 minutes to play in the game, and the Cats come up to the line of scrimmage.
Looks like Quasima now has, what, I think 6 receptions for 54 yards.
Kane's moving it around defensively now as the Cats drop back and they give it up the middle, and the ball carrier is brought down right at the line of scrimmage. Excellent tackle there by number 65, Mike Price.
Also there to help out was number 76, Ben Matheson, who is a freshman.
Shannon Winters is checked into the game as well at linebacker. Once again, Winters, another sophomore on this team, and another member of that excellent freshman class they had last year. Last year, Cartersville's freshman group could have beaten a lot of varsities. Doug Brown under center, tight end to the right side of the formation, and they give it up the middle, and he's brought down right at the line of scrimmage. That was number 22, J.J. Jones on the carry.
And in on the tackle was 71, Shannon Winters, as you just mentioned, and also number 23, who was Thomas Moore, a sophomore.
That carry did gain a yard, and on 3rd and 1, that got him the first down, so the Cats continue to move the chains. Ball at the 34-yard line as we go under 7.5 minutes to play, and now the clock starts to move.
Also in the game, Scott, for the Canes, Kenny Brown, and number 41, Woody Rozier.
Lavada Johnson starting to dance, getting into the groove here. Wildcats drop back to pass. Doug Brown has time, throws for the flat, has a receiver in Quasima, and he drops it at the 46-yard line, incomplete. It'll bring up 2nd and 10 for Woodland. 7:01, the clock stops now in the 4th quarter. The game time is 2 hours and 15 minutes, and it started to move along here as more running has gone on. The first half took a long time.
Yeah, it sure did.
Ball up just across the 34-yard line as the Wildcats come up to the line of scrimmage. 7:01 to play here in the game. 42-0 our score. Hurricanes in full control of this one. Wildcats trying to get something going as they bring twins to the right side of the formation to the strength side with the tight end, and they give it right up the middle again. And the ball carrier is hit right at the line of scrimmage and brought down. Once again, that was number 32, Brian Hill on the carry.
And in on the tackle was number 26, Adam Williams, who's entered the ball game for the Canes at linebacker.
The ball will be spotted just shy of the 35-yard line. That'll make it 3rd and 9 for the Cats. 6:36 to play here in the game.
Also in the game for the Canes, Brett Williamson, number 51.
Woodland under center, I formation, twins to the right side. Doug Brown under center. Drops back to pass, now has time, looking deep, has a receiver. He throws it to the flat and has a completion. That's good enough for a first down. Up at the 47-yard line. You can go ahead and move the chains as the Wildcats starting to produce offensively.
It's about a 14-yard gain.
So the clock stopped at 6:10 while they reset the chains. It'll start back up in just a second. They'll await the referee's whistle, and now they'll go ahead and run the clock.
That is first down. It'll be first and 10 for Woodland.
42-0 our score. Canes on top of this one. Woodland out of the eye again. Wide receivers to each side, and they pitch it outside. The number 21, Jeremy Green, he crosses midfield, still on his feet. Now he's outside. Jeremy Green rushing down to the 25-yard line inside. He'll be brought down at the 24 by number 41, Woody Rozier.
And what an effort that was, Scott, for him to hold on to his jersey in the back part of his shoulder pads. He just kind of hung on for the ride.
So the Wildcats threatening late in this game as they brought some starters back in. Doug Brown still under center as he sends John Taylor to the right side of the formation. Eldrick Pryor to the near side. Brown under center out of the eye. Jeremy Green in the backfield, and they're going to give it right up the middle to Brian Hill, and he's thrown to the turf. Brought down this time by number 21, Daryl Mosley, a junior for the Canes.
Mosley just came into the ball game at the nose guard position.
And a lot of pride on the line here for the second string defense for the Canes. They'd like to hold these starters out of the end zone. The Cats still looking for their first points of the game. Ball on the 27-yard line, 2nd and 11. And the clock continues to move as we go under 5 minutes and 15 seconds in the game. I formation again, wide receivers to each side of the field. Brown under center. And he gives it right up the middle to Brian Hill. He breaks a tackle at the line of scrimmage, crosses the 20. He'll be brought down close to the 15-yard line. And that'll be very near a Wildcat first down. I think he's going to be about a foot short, which will bring up 3rd and inches for the Wildcat offense.
And he was brought down by number 32, Kenny Brown.
The referees have called time. They're going to have to come out and measure this one. It's very close. If that marker's in the correct spot, he's about a half a foot short.
That's what it looks like.
But they're going to go ahead and measure it anyway, as you see Coach Camp on the sidelines. As his Wildcats come over to get the play. There's Courtney Chapman on the Cartersville sidelines, grinning from ear to ear, and he's got a lot to smile about tonight. He's played an excellent game. Behind him, Maverick Bagley, Colby Brinson, and Albert Turner. You can remember those names. They'll be playing on Saturdays next year. Looked like a spaceship just landed on our screen a second ago.
Was this a planned television timeout, or what's going on?
I think they're...
They never did come out and measure.
They never did come out.
I guess he just got down on the ground and looked.
So the Cats come in 3rd and inches here, and I believe they'll probably run it right up the middle as the Canes bring everyone inside. Now they want to try something fancy for the Wildcats. It's 4-down territory here, and they give it right up the middle. And I think he's got the first down, maybe a yard or two more. And the Wildcats can go ahead and move the chains.
Shannon Winters in on the tackle, and also number 65, Mike Price.
Jeremy Green, the ball carrier. And Green gains 3 on the play. Ball boy's having a good time. What a great age.
Really.
So the Wildcats up at the line of scrimmage, 1st and 10. Ball spotted at the 13-yard line, and Doug Brown pitches it outside to the tailback Brian Hill, and he's brought down after a gain of maybe a yard. And the clock will go under 4 minutes.
Adam Williams and Woody Rozier in on the tackle for the Canes.
Number 26, Adam Williams in on the tackle.
You see some fans just enjoying the afternoon. I guess the night now. We've been here so long, can't remember. All right, Wildcats working out of the eye again. Twins to the left side of the formation. Brown under center, drops back, has time, now looks outside, has a receiver at the 5, at the 2, and he's into the end zone for the touchdown, and the Wildcats score one late in this game.
And that was J.J. Jones.
So J.J. Jones gets into the end zone with 3:22 to go in the game. As Doug Brown hooks up with J.J. for a 13-yard touchdown completion with 3:22 to go in this one, and it's 42-6. Coming on to take the extra point will be number 96, Lance Sheldy. He's a straightaway kicker, and the ball goes up and
kind of floats through.
It's through the uprights. Any way you can do it, it still counts. 42-7 the score, 3:22 to go in the game, and Cartersville will get the ball back. It's 42-7 on the Bartow County Bank scoreboard report.
Now for our next story, disasters. They can strike anyone, any place, at any time. Hail, fire, flood, tornadoes, even auto accidents, all can have devastating consequences. If disaster strikes, are you covered? If not, you better call the professionals at Palmer Langford Watkins Insurance, the leaders in fast, dependable professional service for over 50 years. Dan Johnson of the Johnson Agency handles all their health, disability, and life insurance products, so you're covered regardless of your insurance needs. Palmer Langford Watkins Insurance. Don't wait until disaster strikes to get to know them.
Obviously, you know, they're not going to come back and win it at this point, but they've had some pretty decent drives in the second quarter and here in the second half, even against Cartersville's first string defense, and that's something to build on. You know, Cartersville did very nice work against two of the stronger teams in Woodland's own region, and you know, that can give them a clue into how they might fare against those teams as they go through their season.
I've been really impressed with the way Brian Hill's run tonight.
I have too. He's done a really good job running the ball up the middle, and he's been quite effective in the few times that he's ran the ball.
Woodland look like they're setting up for an onside kick. Cartersville doesn't seem to notice it right now, and they are going to kick this one onside. The Canes, the ball won't stay on the tee. It's kind of giving away their little thing here. The element of surprise is now gone. Cartersville continues to leave their front five there. They're not bringing anyone any closer. It could still be a squib kick, and now that's exactly what they're going to do. And the Canes pick it up at the 20-yard line. Break a tackle there, still on his feet across the 30 out to the 31. That was number 32, Kenny Brown, on the return. And the Canes looking good. Ball at the 31-yard line. 3 minutes and 11 seconds to go in this one, and the Canes
got an even younger group in. We got number 19 in at quarterback, Jacob McWhorter.
The brother of Josh McWhorter comes into the game. Jacob, a sophomore, gonna get some time at quarterback. Out of the wing tee, he's gonna send number 33, Chris Callahan, in motion. And they give it up the middle, and number 43, Kip Warren, gets almost 10 yards on the carry. And we go under 3 minutes now to go in the game, and God, these guys are having fun.
Absolutely. Getting some playing time.
Some of the younger guys getting into the game. Pretty much a JV squad in here now, and they're really enjoying themselves tonight. They send Callahan in motion. They give it up the middle again. This time he's met right at the line of scrimmage. Kip Warren, though, doing a good job running the football.
There's that name again, Cameo Towns.
43, Kip Warren on the carry at the end. Number 20 in on the tackle at the end.
Brian Greer in for Cartersville at the, looks like the tight end spot. Number 35 in, Terrence Benham. Number number 66. We don't have him on our roster right now.
All right, Canes up at the line of scrimmage, working out of the wing tee. McWhorter goes under center, gives it off around the right end to Callahan. He's across the 40 at the 45, and he'll be brought down at the 47-yard line. That'll bring up second and short now for the Canes offense. And these guys would love to just move down the field and stick it in the end zone.
Something to talk about all next week.
Number 8.
Ball up at the line of scrimmage. McWhorter under center. Callahan in motion, and they give it up the middle. This time.
43, Kip Warren on the carry.
And Kip Warren takes it again as he gets a gain of about 3 on the play. He'll be very close to a first down.
Some of the other guys in for Woodland, number 1, Bryant Lowe, number 11, Connie Ikwazima, obviously that's Quinto's brother. Number 77 into the ball game, Dan Whaley. Number 17, Art Finch. 59, that is Vincent Henderson.
And McWhorter goes under center, out of the wing tee. And he gives it off to number 35, that's Terrence Benham. Benham trying to get to the corner, very close to the first down. It'll come down to the spot on 3rd and short. And while they go ahead and spot this one out, we will take a quick look at some scores. Cass beat Cherokee tonight, 34-14 the final in that one. So the Colonels get their season off and running. Murray County knocked off Forsyth Central 21-0. Good news for the Hurricanes. Canes actually beat Murray County in their jamboree last week, and what was considered to be one of the toughest teams in 7AA, having trouble with Murray County. Gordon Central knocked off Calhoun tonight 7-0, so Hal Lamb and his coaching staff will have to wait another week for their first win of the year. And on 4th and inches, we've got a penalty called.
And I tell you,
go against the Canes, that'll back them up 5.
The surprise that I see there is Cedartown 22, Rome 0.
Once again, that's a team out of 6AA. Cedartown supposed to be one of those 4 playoff teams out of 6AA this year, and obviously Rome out of 7 AAA. And traditionally 6AA, or at least in the last 4 and 5 years, 6AA has been much, much stronger than 7 AAA. Ringgold knocked off Southeast Whitfield. There's a 7 AAA score. Northwest Whitfield knocks off Etowah. And that will do it. A final tonight here at Weinman Stadium. The Hurricanes improved to 1-0 on the year, and their first step back to the state playoffs has been accomplished as they knock off Woodland tonight 42-7 the final in this one. We're going to take a 2-minute break and come back and break down some of the stats in tonight's game.
Of playing the waiting game when it comes to getting your prescriptions filled? That's not a worry at Holtz Pharmacy. At Holtz Pharmacy, we're still a hometown business offering personalized, quick service for all your pharmaceutical needs. And now Holtz Pharmacy welcomes Warnie Bennett to our staff. Warnie is here to help new and old customers with all their prescription needs, including transfers. For your next prescription, come in and see the folks you know and trust at Holtz Pharmacy. Located at 406 Grassdale Road, call 770-382-5757.
Where are you? Are you paying for a bank you rarely set foot in? Tired of service charges for services you don't use? We are here to offer you a checking account with the freedom you've been looking for. Wachovia Access Now Checking. It's a way of checking with a minimum of hassle and no minimum balance that rewards you for banking the way you want because it's designed for the way you live. Wachovia, we are here. Let's get started.
If you think that quality lawn tractors only come in green or blue, think again. At Taylor Farm Supply, white is the color and the brand of well-built, reliable lawn tractors for a fraction of the price of those other guys. When you buy a white mower, there is no interest for 1 full year, or make no payment until July 4th. Taylor Farm Supply also carries a full line of still trimmers, blowers, and chainsaws to help give your lawn that manicured, well-kept look. Taylor Farm Supply, changing the color of quality with white. Located at Leake Street by the railroad.
It pays to be a Kennesaw State University graduate. Close, convenient, affordable, and more accessible than ever. Kennesaw State offers over 40 bachelor programs, 9 graduate programs, and classes when you want them. Weekdays from 6:30 a.m. to 11 p.m. and weekend classes. The KSU faculty is committed to quality in education. The Kennesaw State campus is located off I-75 at exit 117. Spring semester final deadline for admissions November 19th. Classes start January 10th. Call today 770-423-6300 or check us out at kennesaw.edu.
And welcome back to Weinman Stadium as the Hurricanes get a win here in game number 1 of their season. 42-7 the final in this one. And let's break down some of the scoring in this game. The Hurricanes got on the board first with 8 minutes and 45 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Ronnie Brown went 7 yards in for the touchdown. Then 4 minutes later, Brown got the call again. This time he goes 95 yards for the score as he beats everyone down the field. With 2 minutes and 43 seconds left in the first, Chris Deach got on the board as he hooked up with Teddy Slocum from 45 yards out. That got in for the score, and the Canes led it 21-0. David Thompson came through, kicked all 3 extra points. Then, with no time remaining on the clock in the first, Deach hit Lavada Johnson for a 74-yard score, and the Canes led it 28-0. In the second, with 2 minutes and 55 seconds to go, Lee Miles got the call, and he went the distance, 91 yards untouched, and the Canes went to the locker room, leading at 35-0. In the third, Chris Griffin got the call. He went 45 yards in for the score with 5 minutes and 23 seconds to play in the third, and the Hurricanes led it 42-0. And then late in this one, against the Hurricanes' third-string defense, Woodland got a score as J.J. Jones got the pass from Doug Brown from 13 yards out. And the Wildcats got one in the end zone as their offense finally got some scoring on the board, and that is our final 42-7 as the Cats now fall to 0-1 and the Hurricanes improve to 1-0. The Wildcats will now have to travel to Murray County next week for a Big 7 AAA battle, and if they have any hopes of getting a playoff spot, that would be a huge victory for their young program. For Murray County, they're going to be very, very tough up in Chatsworth. For Cartersville, they've got next week off before Pickens County comes here. Pickens is supposed to be one of the top teams in 7AA this year, and Pickens picked up a big win tonight as they knocked off Coosa 28-20. So the Hurricanes will welcome the Dragons here to Weinman Stadium in 2 weeks, and you can catch that game live on WBHF AM 1450. And Matt, you've got some of the stats here for tonight's game. What happened?
Yeah, I got Doug Brown. He went 10 for 22 with 1 touchdown, 1 interception, 117 yards. Jeremy Green was really the workhorse for them, carried the ball 22 times for 99 yards. Brian Hill did some great work in the second half. He ran 8 times for 32 yards. Of course, J.J. Jones caught the touchdown pass from Doug Brown. And Quento Iquazima, he caught 6 passes for 68 yards. As far as Woodland goes. Now on the Cartersville side, you know we had some big numbers. Chris Deach, 6 of 11, 178 yards, 2 touchdowns and 1 interception. Ronnie Brown touched the ball 7 times, went 146 yards, most of that in the first half, 2 touchdowns. On the receiving side of things, Teddy Slocum, 5 receptions, 87 yards and a touchdown. Lee Miles touched the ball twice, put in 99 yards of work and a touchdown. And Chris Griffin put in 6 carries, 48 yards and a touchdown.
And there you have it, our final tonight, 42-7. Join us next week. Our TV game, Gilmer County goes to Adairsville, and that one can be seen on Prestige Vision 4. It'll be replayed next Saturday morning at 9:30. And of course, the next radio game will be in 2 weeks as Cartersville takes on Pickens County right here at Weinman Stadium in their first Region 7 AA game of the year. For Woodland, their next contest, they go to Murray County to Chatsworth next Friday night. Well, for everyone at Prestige Vision 4 and WBHF Radio, I'm Scott Singer, along with David Archer Jr. and Matt Santini saying good night.